Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Battle of Ontario Hockey Podcast, featuring a Senators fan and a Leafs fan. We're here to talk about your two favorite teams, the rest of the NHL, local hockey, hockey all around the world, and to bring back memories from your favorite hockey teams and players. If you love the Leafs, Sens, B-Sens, NHL, or any other hockey, including the late Belleville Bulls, you are going to want to tune into our podcast. The gloves are off, the buckets are spinning, let's get the chirps flying. Welcome to the Boo Club! Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. You just sitting here, just happy that the Leafs shut out McJesus twice in a row, back-to-back, second, third-string goalies. So I'm pumped. We got a lot to talk about today, guys. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the Leafs, the Senators, how good the Leafs are again. We have another guest coming on today. We have Nathan Moon, who's going to join us on the podcast. And for anyone who doesn't know who Nathan Moon is, he's a couple years younger than Brokey and I, but he is almost like Belleville folklore. I remember for people our age, everyone knew who Nathan Moon was. He was like our Sidney Crosby, right, Brooke? So everyone going to the games.
Growing up, he was.
I remember going to our games. Remember going to our games sometime, and Moon would probably play before us, right? So we'd walk in, and there'd be like 40-year-old men there. There's like dads like, "Oh my God, it's Nathan Moon!" Like he was famous around town. So maybe one of the most skilled hockey players we've had coming out of Belleville.
Oh, definitely. Growing up, he was he was really good. He was a hell of a player. Everybody knew him. He played up a level for a few years, anyways. Yeah. It's a pretty good interview. He's an old style of player. He was the type that just wanted to play. And he didn't really care about the off-ice stuff as far as training and stuff. But for just skill-wise, I mean, this kid was always unbelievable. He went second round to the O and fourth round to the Pittsburgh Penguins. He didn't end up playing in any NHL games, but he had camp with Pittsburgh and talks about a little bit about Crosby and Malkin and talks about playing pro and a lot of other things. Some funny stories with the Frontenacs and some battles with the Belleville Bulls. So it's definitely a pretty cool interview we had with him, and he's pretty laid back. So and he says some interesting things, and he gets to talk about some guys he grew up with. So it's definitely really good. I think a lot of the hockey guys around our age are actually going to love it. So yeah, so we'll have that on for you guys later. We got a bunch of things to talk about. Maybe we'll start with your Leafs on Saturday night, bud.
Yeah, sure. So let's jump into it. So the Leafs come out, and without our number one goalie and number one center, the best player in the world, Austin Matthews, the Leafs come out and in back-to-back night, they shut out the Oilers 4-0 on Saturday and 3-0 Monday night, I believe that was. So just a big win for the Leafs, and this really shows an evolution in the Leafs. I think it kind of shows the defense is coming along, right? The addition of Brody and Bogosian have really have helped that first and third pair respectively. So when I'm watching it looks like a lot of Riley and Brody going out with McDavid, but it's also Bogosian and McDermott. So even the third pair, that's something the Leafs didn't have the luxury of doing the past few years. Is they were only one or two defensemen deep, right? Right now, it seems like they got six defensemen going. So that's a big spot for the Leafs. And anytime you can get a shutout with your second and third string goalie, you got to be doing something right. So what do you think about the Leafs playing defensively, Brokey?
So two things there. I mean, I can't put a knock on any of the Leafs because, I mean, you just shut out the top two point getters in the world, 2 games in a row, 4-0 and 3-0, without your starting goalie and without your best player. So congrats to the Leafs. Definitely shocked me, and no question they shocked you because, in our pool, you actually took Edmonton there. So, you didn't even think they're going to win.
In all
good on the Leafs.
We record a little earlier than game time, right? So we didn't have the information that Campbell was in when I made that pick. I kind of thought it might be Hutchinson on Saturday night. So that's my defense. I'll never bet against the Leafs again. Yeah. There we go.
Well, we only recorded, I think, 6 hours before the game. But anyways, that doesn't matter. But so it was interesting. So my 2 points. Congratulations to the Leafs. They are on a roll. I think they're the best team in the NHL right now as far as standings go. They don't get to play all the teams, so it's hard to judge once playoff time comes. At the end of the day, whether the Leafs finish first or fourth in this division, it does not matter. It's going to come. The only thing that's going to matter is playoff time this year. That's it. So, I mean, it's good for the Leafs. Hopefully they, for their sake, they're learning lots and they're learning to play defensively, and they are looking better than they ever have in the last since this rebuild. The second part of this is we talked about Edmonton this year. And one of the things we said is they're doing really, really well. I figured they were going to be in about the 4th spot, and I think going into this game they're in 2nd. Now I know Winnipeg had some games in hand, but this shows that Edmonton, when their top guys aren't scoring, they're not producing, they don't really have anybody else. And they're either top of the game, they're either scoring, they're beating teams, or that's it. And that proves it right there. 2 games in a row. You keep McDavid, Draisaitl off the score sheet. Who else is on the score sheet? Nobody. So it's going to be tough, and that's why I just don't think Edmonton's going to do anything in the playoffs at all. Because if you shut these guys down, they basically got nothing else. So
the one thing
at the same time, I'm not taking away from anything from Toronto.
Yeah, there are a lot of positives you can speak to about the Leafs. Like a lot of things, like Nylander's going now too. So after his goal against Calgary, he's the kind of guy that scores in bunches, kind of thing. So he's a guy that's rolling. Anytime you can win with your second and third goalie. But the thing I took away the most from these last 2 games, and even going in the game tomorrow or tonight, is Edmonton a pretender? Like, are they really gonna make a run here in the North? And I don't think so. Look, I mean, they just don't have enough depth outside of McDavid and Draisaitl. That's all they got. I mean, they seem like they're the Leafs in the rebuild stage 4 years ago, like just with Matthews and kind of Morgan Riley in defense. Like, Nurse is a good defenseman, but they've got no one. I mean, outside of those 2, they're in trouble. So Ken Holland, I mean, this isn't 1990 anymore. I mean, you got to wake up. You've had the team for over a year. It's time to make a trade. So I know Chiarelli left you with not many assets, but you got to listen up, and you got to get McDavid some help. You're going to get an Eichel situation like in Buffalo where he's going to be unhappy. You have the best player in the world, arguably. It's time to go out and get him some help. He's in his prime right now. Don't waste these years. It's just ridiculous. Ken Holland, if you're listening, go out there and get your team some help. You need 2 wingers, 2 defensemen, probably a goalie. I don't know what you have to sell, but you better start selling and trying to wheel and deal, because you got to make this team good and fast.
Well, and I think they've won more than probably a lot of people thought this year. So it's hard to do that. But I think you look at it, you play Toronto, and you play the number 1 team in the league, and you lose 4-0 and 3-0, 7-0 in 2 games. I mean, I think that just shows them that, and that's without Toronto's, like we said, Matthews and their top goalies. So Edmonton for sure, they have to do something, and it's going to come playoff time. I guarantee it, and I'll bet on it. They're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs because they just don't have the depth. So, anyways, good on Toronto. They play again tonight, Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I'm really expecting a bounce back from Edmonton. They got to get something going. And but we'll see. Well,
Edmonton was trying to turn into a dogfight at the end of the game too. Like, even the announcers were saying it on the Monday night episode. They said, I think it was Archibald went after McDermott and some other guys. I mean, if Edmonton wants to make it a dogfight, Toronto can almost play that game with them now. I mean, I know they don't have Simmons right now, but I mean, they have Thornton, they have Muzzin, they have Bogosian. Like Darnell Nurse stepped in at the end of the game today, and Bogosian just kind of stepped in, and Nurse is the guy who can throw him. And the Leafs haven't had a guy like that can just kind of step in and calm everything down in a while. So I don't know. If Edmonton wants to play the dogfight game, I mean, they might not win that either. I mean, Toronto has evolved into a team that can win many ways, it looks like right now. So yeah, it's been a good couple of days for the Leafs, and we're hoping they get going tonight. Jack Campbell did re-aggravate his lower body injury, so that's a rough injury. Puts a little pressure on Freddie to come back, but yeah, we'll see. The Leafs have a little cushion in the North right now, so they can probably afford to go Hutch again tonight. But anyway,
for sure. And they've got we might as well move on to the future of the NHL, the Ottawa Senators.
I knew you'd say that. Yeah.
So Ottawa won Thursday against Calgary 6-1, and Calgary's been struggling a bit. They took it to them. So I mean, I went with Ottawa on Saturday night, just thinking, hey, they're flying high. I think they won like 4-6 before then, something like that. Anyways, Calgary came out flying. That was probably, Calgary you could tell they ended up winning the game 6-3, but Calgary earned the game. Ottawa looked a little bit too cocky, and they just didn't look in the game. So good on Calgary. They rebounded. It's now 1-1 with the first 2 games there. Actually, that was the first 2 games of the season for those 2 teams. So 1-1. And then we'll move on. Calgary played Ottawa again Monday night. Ottawa ends up winning 5-1. Now, it wasn't a 5-1 game. They scored an empty netter. Ottawa was up 3-1, scored an empty netter, then a goal after. But having said that, Ottawa really took it to them at times in this game in the second period. Murray played really, really well. In the first period, kind of kept Ottawa in it, which they weren't getting at the start of the year. The Ottawa would have been down 3-0, right? Ottawa gets some good goaltending in the first period and then comes out flying in the second period. And that's basically the reason they won the game. And then, it was pretty even matched in the third, other than some goals at the end. So, I mean, Calgary's looking at now they're 1-2 against Ottawa, right? Like, Ottawa's supposed to be bottom of the league. I know they're playing well. But Calgary, I mean, your coach has got to be on the hot seat. Everybody's got to be on the hot seat. They got to start winning. And it's playoffs are only for them. If they don't make the playoffs, it's a failure for sure.
Absolutely.
So moving forward, Calgary does play Ottawa again on Thursday, but in the middle of that, Ottawa played Montreal last night, Tuesday night, and Montreal won 3-1. Just watching the game, it was a tight game. Montreal just had more legs, especially in the third period. Ottawa played, I think, 3 games of 4 nights, especially back-to-back. Montreal's hungry. They hadn't won. They had Price in. Ottawa played Decord, which is his first game of the year, starting anyways.
What did you think of Decord? I thought he looked pretty good.
I thought he played good. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I thought he played a great game. I mean,
he looks much away from athletic, yeah.
Yeah, the one shot there was a straight-on shot, but it was a rocket posting in. I mean, he could have played a little bigger, but having said that, it was a beautiful shot.
That was an unreal shot.
Hard to take away from him. Ottawa, when I watch Ottawa this year, though, majority of the games, they have a lot of jump, a lot of energy. They're a young team. In the third period, they did not have enough jump, enough energy, enough scoring chances to come back. They didn't play terrible. They didn't get outplayed big time. It's just back-to-back games, 3 games of 4 nights, and I know they're not the only team to do it, but that's what makes it hard sometimes on these teams when one team's play more than the other team, right? And guys are tired. So 2 things I want to talk about this, though. One decision I really like by DJ, the coach, and one I don't. Hale was back into the game. Why aren't you calling up Formington or Abramoff, somebody with some energy, especially on a back-to-back nights? Why play Hale, who plays 3 minutes and doesn't even, he's supposed to be a tough guy. He doesn't even fight. He does not fast enough to make a hit. It's a waste of a spot. So I don't like it. He doesn't do anything out there. He's wasting time. You're going to say, he's going to stick up for Stützle. He was on the ice once tonight with Stützle, and so many times he's been out there the whole year. It's a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. He's not NHL. Get rid of him, and let's get one of the younger guys up. But one of the things I liked, and this 10 years ago, this never happened ever. But now it's starting to happen a little bit more, is the goaltending situation. So last week, Ottawa played, I think it was a back-to-back, and I believe they won, and then so Murray won. The next night they went with Hogberg. Hogberg got injured. So Murray had to come in and Murray got lit up. And it was a tough game. But Murray wasn't really ready. And Murray plays a lot, right? So to play a back-to-back was a tough situation. So tonight they were playing, was a back-to-back game. They went with Murray last night or Monday night. They won. Tuesday night, Murray's not going to play. We're going to play Decord, who's now the backup because Hogberg's hurt. They didn't even dress Murray. They brought up Gustafsson, and he was the backup. And a lot of guys are like, that's stupid. I love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. Sure. You already know Murray's not going to play. He's not in your plans, right? Don't even dress him. Let him rest. Let him refocus his mind. There's so much energy, even when you don't play, there's so much energy that goes into it. Let him take the whole night off, relax, and get ready for the next game. And if the core gets lit up, you got Gustafsson. These are 2 young guys. They're both young. They're pretty much the same platform as goalies. They're both young. I think Decord's a year or 2 older. He's a hair more ready for the NHL. But and Decord played well. And Gustafsson's there to back him up. So that's you don't see that very often where the starting goalie, even though he's healthy, doesn't even play, doesn't even back up. But I loved it. I love it.
I agree with that. I mean, it's kind of like the load management thing that's kind of coming on the NBA right now too. Like the Raptors did a lot with Kawhi when he was there. But I mean, what's the point? If you're going to start Decord and Decord gets lit up, do you really want to bring Murray in and mop up duty? No, it's stupid. It doesn't make sense, right? Give him the night off. Let him stay in his nice clothes, have a water, There's no sense getting him stretched out and getting him hot when he's not going to play. I mean, it's just if he needs a night off, he needs a night off. I think it was a smart move by DJ for sure.
So having said that, I'm 3 wins away from our bet. I think I got 29 or 28 games to get it. So I had to bring that up.
Hard pressed to get it.
Anyways, No, I just love chirping you because I love chirping you. I know I'm going to win this bet. So one other thing, Dzingel was traded back a couple of weeks ago. We talked about that. He hasn't played yet, but he is healthy. He escaped with the team. So we'll check on that. What was the last thing I wanted to talk about? One more thing. Jake Batherson. Tuesday night, he lost his streak, but he was on a 6-game goal streak, which has tied the record for Ottawa. Spezza actually had 8 games, but they didn't count it because in the middle of that, he had missed a couple through injury, and they had to be in a row for it to be an NHL record. So Batherson actually tied that record for, I think there's 4 or 5 centers with that record, Spezza being one of them. But he actually got an assist on Tuesday night, so his point streak still goes. So he's still playing strong. So good on Batherson. Another note from the Senators, Stepan is done for the year. It's very unfortunate. You never want to see anybody get hurt. but I just didn't like him this year. I didn't think he fit in well. He was playing a little bit better, but you have a baby and like a week later you go to another country and you can't see it. That's tough on him. So maybe he just needs to get home, have surgery, and be with his family. So wish Stepan the best. Yeah.
Another takeaway I did have from the game last night with Ottawa was the Gabranson play, where Gabranson high sticks Gallagher. I think it's on the first or second goal in front of the net there, right? That's kind of, we were talking about the high sticking there a couple of weeks ago, and that's kind of one where the refs need to use discretion. Like, I think Gabranson knows what he's doing in front of the net there. Like, Gallagher shot that puck, it's gone, and he comes up with a stick hard and gets him. He's trying to send a message not to come in front of the net. That probably should have been 5 in a game, I think. I mean, he knows what he's doing there. If Gallagher stays down, I mean, it's just a dicey play. I mean,
he did get a 4-minute penalty.
He did get a 4.
So,
yeah.
I mean, a 5-minute major for a stick. I mean, Gallagher was fine. He played the rest of the game. I don't think I agree with that. 4-minute penalty. They scored on it. That might have been the first goal then, but he did get a 4-minute penalty. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He did get a 4-minute penalty, man. So
that's dicey.
We were talking comparing 2s and 4s. Now there was another play, the same thing. Brandstrom got a high stick at the start of the game and they called it a 4. I don't even know if he was bleeding or not. But so there was 2 4s in that game. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. You give him a 4-minute penalty, that's a long ways. I think 5 minutes got to be like injuries or something bad, but maybe that's an argument. Maybe there's people who agree with you. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to die on that hill, but I'm not going to die on the hill, but just something I wanted to bring up. It was a dice play. He knows what he's doing with that stick there.
But he called him 4. 4 minutes, man. They scored on it. They scored just inside the next 2. So if you give them a 2-minute, maybe they don't score, right?
Yeah. All right.
Couple of things that we could get into here is the Winnipeg Jets the other night. I think it was Saturday night. They won in overtime and they had 3 forwards on. And this is one thing I love because I hate when you go into overtime. It's 3-on-3. It's fast paced, and a coach goes and puts out 2 defensive slow players.
Yeah, like
even it's a defenseman and a forward and another forward, and 2 of them are slow players, defensive players. What's the point? You get the puck, they're not going to score anyways, right? Mm-hmm. And I think in that situation, if you're good enough, you got to be able to play 3-on-3.
Yeah.
So you put out your fastest, high skill guys. Period.
If you want 3-on-3, go ahead.
Yeah, 3-on-3, and you're putting 3 forwards out. Interesting, the 3 forwards. Obviously, they got to be somewhat of defensive capabilities, but I mean, you're going to score, right? So I love it. If I'm a coach, I'm putting out my 3 best, or probably having 6 ready offensive forwards, or offensive players, I should say. But definitely interesting to see that they went with 3 forwards and no defense on that. So
I'd agree with that, just because when you look at 3-on-3, it's not the traditional defense being played, right? Like there's no body checking at all. It's pretty much just stay behind the guy, stay on the defensive side of the puck, press him when you get the chance and get the turnover and go, right? It's kind of a puck possession game. So it's not the traditional defense you're playing there. So yeah, I don't know why you don't go 3 forwards. And anyone joining our tournament at the end of March, 3-on-3. Let's see some offense here. No defense allowed.
Well, I think we're going to see quite a bit of offense there. Yeah. I think it'll be a fun tournament. I can't wait. We've actually we just nailed. We're going to talk about it later. But my hat here, World Elite, that's where it is. Training Center. That's our main sponsor. So we're going to have some great prizes for first and second, and we're going to have some other prizes as well for the tournament. We'll get into that later, and we have some sponsors. We've nailed a couple down already. So if you're looking to sponsor our tournament, it's $100, and we're going to include a bunch of stuff for you guys. So any small businesses out there or whatever, get a hold of us. But moving on, buddy. Why don't we talk about that Binnington play there? The goaltender for St. Louis gets. Now, he didn't get ejected, did he? Wasn't he just leaving the ice? Or
I think he's leaving. So the goalies must not be allowed to stay on the bench there, right? Is that what I'm taking? Like,
maybe they don't have the room.
Yeah, and maybe COVID too, right? And maybe they make them sit. I know there are places like Montreal, you have to do that, right? The backup goalie sit behind where you come out of the ice or come out of the so maybe it's that situation, maybe it's COVID, but yeah, he's not ejected. He just got pulled, and he comes off, and he fakes like he's sucker punching Carlson. He goes after who's the goalie in there? Dubnyk, I think it was.
Dubnyk, big guy. Dubnyk's a big guy.
It was a crazy play. I don't know.
So, what were your thoughts on it? Because I listened to what some of the St. Louis players thought of it, and I listened to obviously like TSN panel and things like that. And there's 2 different sides of it. Yeah. And the thing I laugh is, so the TSN panel was like, "Oh my God, that is the worst sportsmanship ever." Like, what is he doing there? Like this sportsman. That's not sportsmanship. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, buddy, did you ever fucking play the game? Like, there's times you get fucking fired up and you lose your cool. You're pissed off. You let in a couple goals, whatever. Like, don't give me this sportsmanship. He didn't even do anything. He didn't touch Carlson, and he barely touched Dubnik. Like, come on, man.
There's barely any sportsmanship required when you're in the middle of a game, right? I don't. So if that was like, say that happened in overtime, and he gets mad, he's going off, he does it. I think that's a different story. But it's the middle of the game. He just gets pulled in. The game's still happening. Like, he could be trying to spark his team a little bit. He may not just be losing his shit. He may have a motive behind it. So I don't really care about it. I mean, it was fun to watch, and I have no problem with it.
The players on St. Louis loved it.
Sure they did, yeah.
The players on the other team did. They thought it was a little bit bullshit, but they're going to say that, right?
Yeah.
But St. Louis are like, you know what? The guy plays with fire.
Yeah.
And when we say guy plays with fire, it means he's fucking into the game. I was the type of player I play with fire. I come off for rest. I lose my mind. Sometimes way too much, and I'll admit that. But at least I'd rather see a guy play with fire and want to win than a guy, going through the motions. I don't care if I win the game. I'm just going to play. I hate guys like that. Just drove me nuts. Play with fire. Guess what? St. Louis loved it. The players loved it. Who won the game? St. Louis. They came back and won, if you can believe it or not. I believe it was in overtime. So, you know what? I don't mind it. If it was a dirty shot and he speared a guy, I'd be like, whoa, you crossed the line. He faked hitting Carlson, and I don't even know if they really pushed each other, Dubnik and him. So, you know what? It was a little bit of fire.
Yeah.
These sportscasters can go piss off someone else because of sportsmanship. Like, did you play, or do you just talk about sports? At least we played, and at least we still play, right, Flum?
Yeah, I don't get why they say I don't know why they say that either, because that's entertainment. Like, I don't know, as a fan,
I
like,
was
if something like
fired
that
up.
happens,
I loved it.
you want, like, oh, look what happened. We're talking about it now. Like the guys at TSN,
Exactly.
hey, your job is to cover cool stuff. I mean, just go with it. Like, just have fun. I don't know why they gotta, I don't want to know why they gotta be so negative on everything. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So another thing here, congratulations, Patrick Kane, 400 goals the other night, and it was a beauty. So Patrick Kane, I know you talk about him all the time, and you think he's one of the best players to ever play the game, skill wise, and I do too. I obviously, I think that was now he's the 100th person to score 400 goals, if I'm not mistaken on that stat. I think that's it. So Patrick Kane is definitely, he was nominated as one of the top 100 players a few years ago, the 100th anniversary, and he is. I mean, he's a phenomenal player, and he's doing it this year, and he's leading Chicago into the playoffs right now, which we all thought they were going to be the bottom of the barrel. So congratulations to him. And I'll tell you, we talk about players you want to watch. When Patrick Kane is the puck, we all watch. We all go,
oh yeah, for sure.
He's not like the friggin' Derek Stepan in Ottawa, like, oh, God, right? Like,
if he has the puck, something exciting is gonna happen for sure.
Yeah. Oh, 2-on-1, and like one of the best guys going to shootout too. Like, just phenomenal. Some of the highlights he has, right? So, congratulations to him, buddy. You got a few things. Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of one of the other best players of all time, Sidney Crosby lands on the COVID protocol list. So we just want to say, get well, Sid. We hope all goes well there. He's a guy that we've lost way too many games to injury for a concussion and stuff like that. Like, I think he missed a year and a half, right? So Sid's one of those guys that he's still one of the best players in the game. He's one of the most important players in the game. He's probably the face of the game. So we hope he gets back. We hope he gets healthy. But speaking of Crosby, though, because we were talking to Nate a little about Crosby, right, in our interview. What do you think about Crosby? Do you still think he's a top 5-10 player in the league?
When push comes to shove, if you put him in a playoff series, he's definitely one of the top 10 in the league. Maybe 5's tough, but experience in playoffs, I would say yes. As far as getting top 5 in the league every year points, I would say no.
I'm not saying
isn't good enough, but if push comes to shove and you give me a team in playoffs, he's 100% going to be a top 10, might even be top 5. I still think he's a top player. Yeah.
If you're going to the Stanley Cup playoffs and you have to choose a number 1 center, are you going to take Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby just for that one playoff series? I'd probably leave Crosby. The guy knows how to win, right? So I don't know. I think if you're starting a franchise today, who would you start the franchise with? I mean, outside of the 4 M's, I think Crosby's that guy.
Well,
you know the 4 M's, right? Again. You know the 4 M's, right? Who you take
Matthews,
McKinnon, McDavid, and Marner, right?
I didn't know the Marner one. That's why I was like, what? But I do like Marner. So I mean, I like Marner. I like those players. Well, and you get it back into if you start a franchise, but if I'm starting a franchise and I'm not taking Crosby.
No, I know that. Yeah.
He's going to be, 36,
he's
38 years old by the time. I mean, it's a tough one, right? And that's where Pittsburgh's at right now. So, but anyways, I don't think they ever did announce that if he has Corona, he could have just had one of those weird tests. I didn't hear that. Did you hear that?
No, I think it could have been contact tracing because I know the assistant coach at Pittsburgh was in the protocol too. So I don't think they've released anything firm on that, but just, we just hope for the best, right? We don't want to see him miss any more time than he should.
Yeah, exactly. So, yep. Sid the kid, Sid the old man. But yeah, wish the best, buddy.
Don't call him that old because I think he's probably our age or just a little older, right?
He's a year older. Yeah,
Yeah.
87. Sid the kid, 87.
Yeah.
87. One other thing. I was chirping this guy about a couple weeks ago. Lafreniere, first overall pick. I think he, at one point when we were chirping him, he only had 1 point in like 14 games or something. He has put a couple points up, so good for him. I think he's got 3 goals and 2 assists, if I'm not mistaken, 5 points now. He scored Tuesday night, probably the easiest goal you ever scored in your life. So the goalie kind of gets out of the net, and the guy's got it right around the bottom of the circle, and Lafreniere is standing in basically on the goal line against the crossbar, kind of being held there, and the puck gets through the goalie and bounces off him and in. So one of those goals. But hey, if you're him and you're not putting a lot of points up in your first overall, you'll take him, buddy. So you know what? He is going to put some points up, and I didn't knock him. I knew he's going to be a good player, but I think Timmy Stützle is going to be better. So anyways, I just thought good for you. Lafreniere, it's good to see him get it going.
That's a future bet we might have. Who it turns out better next couple of years, Lafreniere, Stützle, because I'll be on the Lafreniere side for sure.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. So
yeah.
Another funny stat. So just for anybody watching, you know who else watches our podcast? The National Hockey League. I don't know if you heard of them, but their short form is the NHL. A while ago, I was complaining about how on the power play they would switch the camera angle and put it behind the net. I said I hated it. I don't know where everybody is. I can't see everybody. Don't know where the puck is. Your angles are off. Everything. I hated it. You said you didn't mind it. Anyways, I couldn't stand it. Well, guess what? I don't think after that episode, I don't think they do it anymore. So thank you, National Hockey League. We'll be in touch with Gary Bettman and thank him, and I'll send him a hero cookie.
I don't know if you know this, Brokey, but Bill Daly did reach out to us on our Boo Club email. Okay. So yeah, he did. Okay, he did say they were concerned about they appreciate our feedback and they take it into consideration. So, well,
tell Bill I said hi next time he's in Ottawa or Toronto. We'll meet him for a beer.
For sure. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say one thing I noticed last night though is the Detroit Red Wings. Not only are they the worst team in the leagues, those have to be the worst jerseys I've ever seen. They look like a cheap knockoff of like a Russian Soviet team from like the 1970s. Those jerseys are horrible with like the gray border around the bottom. Oh, I just hated them. I don't know.
When I coached the Cableford Rebels Junior C a few years ago, our practice jerseys were better than those. So let me tell you, that's just garbage. I mean, here's the thing I don't get is, the NHL lets you, and from what I see, they let you kind of go crazy with these jerseys. Colorado has like a Quebec throwback. They're letting you do throwbacks of teams, So here's the thing. Well, where do you get off of just, we're going to change a little bit of red to gray? Like, it just looks terrible. Not only does it look terrible, it looks like there's no effort. And I talked to you today about something. I'm going to just bring it up quickly.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm talking about. So
I know.
This person isn't listening, so I don't really care. I asked for business cards for another business a couple of years ago, and literally it took 4 months for me to get a layout. And I got the layout, and whatever we talked about, nothing was on it. It was I hated it. And anyways, I had a tough day at work. I was doing asphalt, and I said something I probably shouldn't have, and I apologized about 5 minutes after. Anyways, I said those look like a grade 5 did it, like. But it was like no effort. Like everything we talked about, the things we want to do with it, make them look good, none of it was on it. It was like you forgot about me and you put 0 effort into it. You said, let's put that quickly, send it out to him. And I'm an honest guy, and I was having a bad day, and I said, you know what? It looks like a grade 5 did that. Like, what is that? We didn't do any of that. That looks like a grade 5. Sorry, grade 5s, but you're just not very experienced. If you're grade 5, I do apologize. But it looks like a young kid did that with no experience, or like just not even a young kid. Somebody just said, oh shit, we forgot about this. We got 5 minutes. Let's change something and throw it in.
Someone mailed it in for the day, right? Like it was 3:30 on a Friday. They mailed it in. And whoever was designing that jersey for Detroit, they mailed it in because that was just there was no forethought into that. It was poorly executed.
Now I know Detroit has a plain symbol. They've had it forever, and plain colors, and only 2 colors. It's kind of like the Leafs, and the class of it. But come on, guys, step it up a notch. At least the Leafs tried something. I'm not a fan of the Leafs' 3rd jersey this year. I'll tell you, I would like it, I think, if it wasn't gray, if it was white. It's something different. The stripes are different. It's just different. It's cool. Some people love it. But I look at it and go, someone actually put effort into that.
Yeah.
They switch things up. Detroit's, I'm like, this is garbage. Like, are you practicing right now? You probably do need to practice because Ottawa's going to outperform you this year. But having said that, worst jersey And one of the ones I like is the Phoenix one. It's the throwback one.
Yeah.
At least someone put effort into that one. I'm an effort person. Put effort into it. The Quebec one's my favorite. And did you see another thing last night? Vegas wear the gold helmets again, and they end up tying it up with like a minute left and then scored in overtime. But those helmets are unbelievable. Hey, someone thought of that. There's some effort on there. They had to pay them gold.
Yeah. No, yeah. Just put a little effort into it, guys. Like, it's not that hard, God.
I had to tell that story. Hopefully that person doesn't listen because I'm going to be a shit again.
I'm sure they're listening.
Needless to say, I got my business card somewhere else. But anyways, yeah, bud. So we've got Nathan Moon coming up. Is that what we want to get to right now? And then
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should go over to Nate and come back and talk about a few things. But
I got one more thing I want to talk about. So just a quick thing.
Oh.
So the other day, Jason Spezza scored that really, really nice goal. Is that Saturday?
Oh, yeah, Saturday night.
So he came down the wall, and he's done it before. He took a fake clapper,
the
goalie bit, and then he brought it back and went cheese. I swear to God, I was talking to Mark Goody the other day. I said, do you remember this? That game where we played Dagenet, okay?
Yeah.
I swear, lefty, big guy, like a Spezza, come down. I swear to God, same move. I was on the ice. I can remember it to this day. It's the only really play I remember for that game, honestly. And I remember him taking a fake clapper and then fighting the goalie, bringing it around, and then going cheese. Swear to God, exact same goal. Other side of the ice, same goal I can remember to a T. And I just had to bring it up. It was funny. When I saw that, because my buddy texted, he said, oh, Spezza's goal. So I'm like, oh, I got to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't watching it live, and oh my God, right away. I was like, that's that memory. So, but anyways, I just thought I'd bring that. I just thought I'd say that funny story. So that was a nice goal.
It was a nice goal too.
Spezza's a big guy for the Leafs. I mean, face-offs are huge. It's one thing Ottawa's killing. It just sucks at right now. And you got to, big face-off at the end of the game. You got to win it, whether you need to score or keep the puck out of your net or your own end. I mean, put a guy out there like that. Tons of experience, and he's phenomenal with his stick. Obviously little moves like that, face-offs, passing. Guy can sauce the puck. Almost as good as Mike Renzi to the Chocolate Rocket.
He's always had hands, David. What a transition of a career. So, like, at the start, right, he comes in, he's purely an offensive guy. Like, I don't even think he could spell defense back in the day when he's in Ottawa, right? Now he comes on, he's taking the late game faceoffs in Toronto. So, like, when Sheldon Keefe's throwing out two centers, he's putting Spezza and Matthews out there. Spezza's taking the draw. And he's a guy that can chip in offensively, too. Like, he's not one of those guys that just has to go off the ice as soon as he wins the faceoff, right? So, he has played very well this year, and that goal was awesome. I mean, I think they're coming down on not a true 2-on-1, but a little one, and the defenseman thinks he's going to pass too, and he fakes the defenseman on the pass, and he fakes the clapper on the goalie. So just a sick goal. Just kind of remind you stuff he used to do back in Belleville too, because he was unreal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, unbelievable. So, but anyways, guys, we'll get to this. Our next guest here, like we said earlier, is Nathan Moon. He played for the Kingston Frontenacs for 5 years. He's Belleville. He's from Belleville. I actually went to public school and high school with him, so I know him really, really well. Brendan there, he's a fun dog. He's played baseball with him and hockey even against him a little bit. And so we know him really, really well. He's got some really funny stories about guys he played with, his coaches, and everything in Kingston. So I think everybody's really, really going to enjoy it. And his pro, he played 7 years pro, I think it was, something like that.
Yep, 7 years with A and ECHL.
He's definitely he's definitely quite the character. And I think everybody's going to enjoy it. And thanks, Nate, for coming on. I know he had a blast, and maybe we'll get him on again later on in the future.
Yeah, for sure, guys. So without any further ado, here he is, Belleville's own Nathan Moon. All right, guys. He is one of the best athletes to ever come out of Belleville, a second-round draft pick of the Kingston Frontenacs. He would go on to become the leading goal scorer in Kingston Frontenacs history, a top 50-point scorer all-time in the OHL. The Pittsburgh Penguins took him with their first selection in the 2008 NHL entry draft. After his amazing junior career, he was recruited to join the CHL's Bossier Mudbugs, where he would lead them to the CHL championship that season. A man who is a lock for the Belleville and Kingston Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Belleville's own Nathan Moon.
Damn.
What's going on, bud?
Attaboy, Mooner. What's going on, bud?
Not much, you?
No, not much. Can we just get Fleming to announce that CHL team again?
Nope.
I didn't even know what you said.
The Bossier Mudbugs.
Bossier Mudbugs? Is that how you say it?
Bossier Shreveport Mudbugs.
Yeah, I know it was hyphenated. I couldn't say the middle one, so I just said.
Yeah, I had no idea where I was going.
Yeah. So what happened with that year? Because did you end up playing any games with them, or you just went and got called up kind of as like a black ace type, or?
So our season ended. This is a kind of funny story. And I was like, I had a couple calls, and I was like, man, I just want to. I don't know. I was kind of over it over the 5 years. I was like, just sitting in. I was actually at my billets, and the next thing you know, I get a call from my agent saying, "Hey, you're going to Bossier Sharif." I'm like, "Where the hell is Bossier Sharif?"
I have no idea to this day.
And he goes, "You're going." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So I got on a flight, got down there. I sat the first game because I just got there, and then I played the rest of the games. But I'll never forget the first game at home. We scored a goal, and they start throwing mud bugs on the ice.
What's a mud bug? Just like a bug? Like,
Oh yeah, I was like, "What the hell kind of league am I in?"
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
so we ended up going to the championship game, and we beat Colorado in 7 games, I think it was. And it was nuts because our 7th game we were playing. After the game, people started crying and stuff. I was sitting there like as a 20-year-old thinking, why are these guys crying? This is a CHL.
Yeah.
Like, who get that you won the championship? But looking back, it was a great experience. I had a lot of fun. They treated you with, and the funny thing is, they folded after that year.
What?
Yeah,
So they won the
folded.
championship and then folded.
Yeah.
Now, well, how the hell does that work? Like, wouldn't you think they'd have big ticket sales from playoffs and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't know what happens. I think they went to the USHL or something.
Oh, so maybe they
Okay.
changed leagues or.
Yeah,
Oh, the USHL. That's the like the junior league for the states, isn't it? Like the top junior league.
yeah, it's like junior A.
Junior A, or it's they say it's kind of like between a junior A here and an OHL or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like a mix or whatever. So
Yeah,
I know.
Scholarship guys go there if they want to go to school.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, anyways, bud, how about this? Did you see my jersey?
Oh,
little Quinny Red Devil brought it out.
good old days.
Now you would have played on this one too, right? The Bobcats.
Yep.
Look at this little jersey.
Yeah.
I picked this up off Riley Muse. You know him? Would you know him, or he'd be younger than you? Riley Muse. I think he went to Parkdale.
Sounds familiar, but
You would.
oh,
you probably know him to see him.
Yeah, probably.
He skates with us on Saturdays, and he had that in his bag, and I'm like, man, I want that jersey. So he's like, okay, yeah. I'm like, well, you want me to buy it off you? Yeah, sure. $20. Okay. So I got a bunch of jerseys. So I want to get my next house. I want to get like a huge wall and have a ton of jerseys, right? Like, so every time we come on here, we bring someone on. I got to try and wear a jersey. Fleming likes to dress. Fleming likes to look like he's going to a funeral wearing black all the time. But
funny thing is, you mentioned houses. We sold our house on Friday.
Oh yeah, I seen that you had it for sale. I forgot to ask about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sold quick then.
The market down here is crazy.
Oh yeah, so it's like that up here too, where like houses selling like a week for over. It's just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we put it up Thursday at like 3:00, and by 6:00 we had an offer.
Yeah. Holy shit, that's good then.
Yeah.
So what are you guys going to, like a different part of the city or the town, or?
We're moving to Newburgh, so it's like a mile away from my house right now. Just a bigger house.
Oh, so it's not that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So just something better.
My wife wants more kids, so we had to upgrade.
Oh, there you go. Oh, well, that'll keep you busy. I know that. One for me is busy enough. And what you have? What, 2 now? What?
Two girls.
Oh, yeah, 2 girls. Oh yeah. How old are they?
There'll be one will be 3 in April, and the other one will be 1 in April.
So that's almost the same as Fleming's. Fleming's how old
Yeah,
are yours?
Yeah, we were talking that before you got on. My oldest one just turned 3, and my youngest turns 1 in March. In like 3 weeks. So
you guys are that.
we're pretty much right in the same schedule, eh?
Yeah. So I know. I feel like, and I have a couple other buddies too that like once you hit that second kid, it's so much more busier too, right?
Yeah.
Because I know now I'll be like, I'll sneak away from the wife for a few hours, go play hockey. But with 2, it's like they got to look after 2, right? Or vice versa. And 2 is so much double the work, right? So.
Oh yeah, especially when they start crawling and walking.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere. 2.5-year-old that's running around, and they got a 10-month-old that's crawling, starting to walk, getting in there. Like, mother, can you just stop?
You stop them for like a second, and then you turn your head. I'll do that. Watch TV, and then like 10 seconds later, what the hell is he into now, or she's into now? It's just like, but that's life of parenting, right? Like it's just.
Oh, well, the funny thing is, my wife will get pissed at me sometimes because we have a playroom in our house right now too, and she'll be doing or cleaning the house or whatever she's doing, and I'll have the door shut in the playroom, and she'll come in and goes, I just cleaned this room. I said, well, I'm letting them do what they want. They leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it's for, I guess, right? Playroom.
Yeah.
So maybe we could just start from when you were being young, and maybe shoot the shit from growing up. Like obviously, well, you and I went to Parkdale together, and a little bit of Quinny, I guess. You're a couple years younger than me. And then Bobcats. You used to play. So you played, if I remember, I'm pretty sure you played with Solzy and those guys. Dougie Shaw was the coach. You would have been like Major Adam. No, did you play on that team or?
Yeah. So I played up until AAA.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I played with Shawzy. Shawzy was our coach. Solzy, Crawford, all those guys growing up until Major Adam, was it? I think. And the funny story is, I was going to play up with them in AAA, but I had a broken arm. I broke it in ball hockey. And we went through that year in ball hockey. And I played with my broken arm. Well, I went to the tryouts, and I said, hey, I haven't been cleared for contact yet. Oh. Well, the coach, I think it was Tom's. Is it Dylan Tom's or?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Thompson?
Thompson. No, he's from Camp.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, his dad was our coach. He goes, well, if you can't play, you can't try out. You're not gonna make the team or something like that. I said, all right, well, screw you. I'll just go back to my own age group.
Yeah.
And so I went back to my own age group, and that was when OJ was a coach.
Okay. Yeah.
Steph, was it her name Stephanie?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, she was our goalie.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even know that actually.
Yeah.
But I remember because I think there was my old man coached me, and we were a year older. And I remember we'd play at the Memorial, and for some reason it seemed like every Saturday or whatever, or Sunday, and Fleming would have been on one of these teams anyways.
Yeah.
They would play before us, I think. And I remember hearing like Dougie Shaw, like one game you guys are up like 3-0. He comes in, he's just screaming at you guys. And we're like, holy shit, they're winning. Like, you think it'd be like 5-0 against, right?
Yeah.
So what we'll ask about him, because what was he like? Obviously he was a little crazy, but a lot of guys liked him too, though, because like he kind of got the extra work out of them, right?
Yeah, I tell you, he was probably. I loved him as a coach, to be honest with you. And I always say this. I've said this from the get-go. I don't think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been as good as I was growing up.
Okay.
He brought kind of like the best, and he kind of instilled in me the grindiness and the chippiness in my game that I kind of grew with. And that helped me out so much growing up. So he did a lot for me, coaching me, even though it was, I was with him from Tyke. I think I was with him from Tyke to Major Adam.
Yeah.
But him, Andrew, and you had Darlene there too.
Yeah, Darlene was the manager a lot of times.
Yeah.
But she probably acted like an assistant coach, I think. Yeah. What they say, she was like the toughest mom in hockey growing up or something.
Yeah. And I'll never forget Josh. He was a crazy mother. He would miss a hit, and Doug would be like, Josh, get out there and hit somebody. He just killed someone shifts ago.
Oh yeah, he was a hitter. We're actually, Josh is supposed to come on with us within the next week or something. So we got some ball hockey stories from him too that he's good with, and like he, obviously living in Chicago now, and and he's got a couple kids too that are probably around the same age as your guys, maybe a little hair older, but it's funny how time flies though, eh? All of a sudden you're the parents.
It's not. It is crazy.
Yeah. So and then you would have played what, a few years Quinny, and then obviously drafted second round of the O. So any other coaches that you would have been with in Quinny, or kind of Doug Shaw, the biggest one you remember growing up?
Doug Shaw is one of the biggest ones I remember because I don't know. I think I played ball hockey with Josh all growing up too, and he was always there. And so it wasn't just ice hockey; it was ball hockey, then football. We played football.
Football. I forgot about that.
So I think it was always there. The other guy was probably Tim Blake. He was coaching me in AAA, and he kind of instilled a lot of things in me too. Also growing up, because he was my coach from Major Adam, or helping out anyways till minor midget. So those two guys are probably the biggest influence for coaches wise in minor hockey. for me. I mean, we had head coaches, but Tim was always there. Tim Blake was always there as assistant coach, because Zach was on our team, and he was always there to help, or whatever we needed, he was there. So.
And Blaker, I think I played a little bit with him in Trenton until he got traded. But he went. I think he played Division III, didn't he? And now he's a cop. I think he's a police officer. Yeah, I don't know if it's in Campbellford or where, but I think pretty sure he's a cop now.
What do you call him back home now? I can't even remember. Is it MPP? He's an OPP.
OPP. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like the area or whatever.
Yeah.
I was talking with him, I think, through Facebook a few months ago or something, just a quick conversation. But maybe he's somebody we'll get on here too. But he was drafted to the Bulls too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Late round pick or whatever.
Yeah, he's drafted in the OHL my minor midget year.
Yeah. Well, I know Fleming's. Oh, go ahead.
I think we had me, Sammy, Blake, Mahoney. I don't know. Did Luke Hale get drafted? I think he did.
Yep, he did, because I played with him in Trenton.
Yeah, and then Tanner.
Oh yeah, Jordan Tanner. I played with him a little bit in Trenton with Blaker.
Yeah.
But Hagel played the year before with us when it was the Sting. Because I think he was like an 8th rounder or something. I think they had big hopes for him. Kind of thing in Trenton anyways. But
minor midget year. He's a go hard.
Yeah, that's just it, eh? You described it perfectly, like even off the ice. Like, way too much. We fucking hated it, Trent. We're like, who's this fucking guy giving her like it's warm up? We're warming up before the game and he's just fucking going. We're like, holy bud, just wait for the game.
My midget, it was just like, dude, can't take a chill pill. Let's just calm down. It's practice.
So, Flem, you had a couple questions for him playing against Stamkos and all that, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something before we got on to hockey. I heard Nate say something about football. So, Nate, in like a different world, say you don't go play in the OHL and you go to Quinny, who's the starting running back for the Quinny Saints? Is it Brokey or you?
No, he's old. I'm older. We wouldn't have played together. Flem.
Well, you would have been like grade 11 and grade 9, right? So.
Yeah,
but we didn't play together, though.
Yeah, we've been junior. I don't know. Brokey, were you on my team in grade 6 when I had to play quarterback?
Yeah, because our quarterback got hurt. I was a running back that year.
Yeah. Remember when Dickie Hale put me in, I was like, and it was like 100 degrees out?
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't even finish the game. I told Dickie, I said, I can't finish this game.
Yeah, we won every game that year, but that one we lost the finals, Fleming. But no, it was a fun year though. Dickie's quite the character too.
I remember him coming up saying, "What's going on?" I said, "Man, I can't breathe." I said, "I'm puking my guts out over here. It's too hot." And then obviously he ended up being great.
Yeah. So go ahead, Flem.
Yeah. So so you said you go to Kingston the second round. Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about just getting drafted in the O? Did you know Kingston was interested? And what was it like getting drafted by a place so close to home? I'm sure your parents love that, right?
Well, yeah, the funny story about this whole thing is I had a meeting with George Burnett and the assistant coach. I forget who the assistant coach was at the time. Was it Grimes? I think it was. Well, not Jake. Yeah. Is it Jake Grimes?
Jake Grimes, yep.
The night before the draft, or the week of the draft. And they said that if I was there in the first round or second round, they were going to take me. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I talked to a bunch of teams. The Sioux was really interested. I was praying not to go to the Sioux, to be honest.
Yeah.
I never really talked to Kingston. Besides Dick Cherry, he came to our games in Quinny just because they were so close. But the funny story is the first round went by and Belleville took Sean Lalonde in the first round my year. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so Stu picked. First round went by. I'm like, all right, pretty close. Belleville was coming to the next pick, I think, or whatever, that in the second round. I'm like, all right, this is probably going to pick. And they picked Matt Tipoff.
Oh, I remember Tipoff.
Yeah. Picked Matt Tipoff. And I wasn't pissed, but I shut my computer off right then. I just shut my computer off. And I went to the garage and started shooting pucks.
Oh, just fired you right up then, eh?
I was like, what? I just kept kind of slipping a little bit. And then I was like, I went back in, turned the computer back on. Next thing you know, my phone was ringing. It was Larry Maverty. And I'll never forget that guy. That guy was like a second father to me, during Kingston. He calls me and goes in his voice, Mooner. I'm like, yep. He goes, "We're picking you here. Get in fucking shape." I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, great introduction. He goes, so I drove down to Kingston that day, actually. They wanted me to come down. And I went into the draft room and all that kind of jazz. And I saw the draft board, and Matt was like, "Mooner, I wanted to take you in the first round. Look at this. I had you in my paper." And everyone else wanted to take Josh Britton in the first round. But I told them didn't have a choice in the second round. If you were available, I was taking you. And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "I asked you one thing, get in shape." He kept repeating this. I'm like, "Oh my, what? Am I not in shape or what?" But yeah, that's kind of the story behind that. Mav, he's a great, he was a great guy to me. Him and his wife, Brenda. He's the reason why I was in Kingston for 5 years. We just had a communication where he wouldn't let go of me. It was funny. A funny story is, it was I got drafted by Pittsburgh in my third year or fourth year. I was going to ask for a trade because we were dog shit. We were awful. And he calls me in his office and he goes, "Mooner, tell your agent to stop calling me. You're not going anywhere. You're a front for life." He goes, "I don't care if you get another point the rest of the year. You're never leaving this place. And you're coming back next year if you don't sign as an overagent." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Sounds good to me." And so from that point on, I knew I was going to be there forever. And, Kingston was like my second home.
Yeah.
But I was blessed to only be 45 minutes away from home.
For sure, because your parents are always at the games, right? Like, I know we'd go down to see Kingston sometimes, and your mom and dad were always there. And even at your brother's game, too. Like, it seems like they were always at hockey games. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, they were there every home game, 40 minutes down the road. So we lucked out there where they can come. And looking back, I think it was the best thing that I didn't go to Belleville. I've seen some people go to their hometowns, and it's not. I think I got to go away from home and kind of grow up and mature and experience that kind of stuff alone. And I think that just helped me grow as a person overall and a hockey player. So I think that was a great spot for me. 40, not too far, but close enough where I can go home when I want.
Yeah, and like you say, and I'm not going to mention any names, but we've even seen them in Belleville. Guys go to Belleville, and it just ruined them. And it's because their parents can be at every single practice, and maybe it's the type of parents too, or their close friends are always around. And like you say, sometimes it's good, even though it's only 45 minutes to an hour away. Those people aren't there at every single second, right? So it's still like you're away from home, but you're still close enough where they can be there. Maybe not every second though, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure Nate 2.0 was there too. Your brother. I know he used that name quite a bit. Oh, Nate Moon. I was with him a few times back in the day, and it's like, "Oh, are you? You're Nate, eh? Oh yeah, I played for the France." I had to bring that up. I had to bring it up at some point.
Hey, you don't understand. I heard that so many times when I was in Kingston.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Oh,
you probably got quite a few drinks and whatnot over the years, and maybe some other stuff too. We won't talk about that. But.
Probably going to Stages, free drinks at Stages.
Oh yeah, Stages back in the day. I love that place. I've been there a long time, but. And then you had something about Stamkos, didn't you, Fleming? Or
yeah, didn't you play? So Stamkos was the first overall pick in your OHL draft year, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you play on a line with him at like the OHL Cup before the draft?
No, I grew up playing them with Markham, so our team always played them. It was Stamkos, Delzato, Hodgson, Joffrey, you name it. They were on that Markham team. We'd always get killed by them. But no, my first year under 17, I played on a line with him.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like? Like, was he just unreal then?
Oh yeah, I mean. I think it was me, Stamkos, and Hodgson on the line. And the best thing about it was his minor midget coach was our under 17 coach, Paul Titanic. And so he knew me, and he knew guys that played in the OMHA and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, I played on a Stamkos line. I'll never forget the one. He lines up on the first 1-tee, and I was the guy out front on the power play and stuff. And he whistled one by my head one time, and I was like, Stammer, what are you doing? And he goes, trust me, one bar down. Don't move. Next thing, bar down. This guy's nuts.
Oh, fuck. He's got a rocket on that, though. Eh? Almost like the Brett Hall, right?
Yeah.
The Brett Hall Ovies like that, too.
Oh, it was so good. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe just bring it back to Kingston then. So playing 5 years there, obviously Mavity was huge for you, right? You talked about that. And how did it feel when, like, if you're thinking to yourself, okay, he won't trade me. Obviously there's a reason he liked you and he, you know, like maybe you felt like a second son to him. But how did you feel? Was there a part of you that was like, I really appreciate that, but I do want to go to a winning team? Or was it all like, oh, I'm just going to stay kind of thing?
No, it was kind of both. I mean, my 4th year was my signing year with Pittsburgh. And they told me I need to go on a deep run in playoffs right off the get-go. And I knew he kind of built a team that we were supposedly supposed to go for longer, but we weren't as good as teams in the Eastern Conference, that we weren't going to make it over the first or second round. And so that was the year where Kitchener, I think it was Kitchener, that was really good. I think they went to the finals or something like that. Well, they had a trade line up for me. It was me for tip-off and someone else. I forget who it was, but Mav wouldn't take tip-off.
Yeah.
And so Mav, it was the night before the trade deadline too. And he just prolonged it and said, oh, sorry. And so I got it. And after that, in my overage year, I said, you know, it's not a big – I'm just going to finish it out in the Kingston. You know, it's already been 5 years here now. So, I mean, I had tons of fun in Kingston growing up. Like, my first year, I played with, like, the Stewie, Emertons, Hughes, Shutrons. We had Wallingford. I mean, our team they were built to go for a long run. And we lost to Tavares and Oshawa in the first round. And that's a funny story. Is our coach is a coach of Boston now, actually, Bruce Cassidy.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was my coach my first year and a half.
Oh, that's unreal. So what was that like? Describe him. Maybe talk about him for a sec.
Oh, he's a beauty. I mean, luckily he loved me. Like, I was his type of player. What Stewie, Stewie always had my back. Hughesy. You guys remember Bobby Hughes?
Yeah, I remember him,
Yep.
Yeah. He was unreal. That guy was unreal. I think he had like 90 points one year. But yeah, I'll never forget Stewie and those guys. We were actually in the playoffs against Oshawa. It was game 5, and we were winning 2-1 or something like that. And we were winning the series. It was game 4. We were winning the series 2-1. Hughesy loses a face-off with 1:05 left. I'm just sitting there, the 16-year-old. Like, I played, but the last 2 minutes, I'm like, I'm not going to get out there. Like, I understand. Like, I'm just going to watch the game. Well, he loses a face-off, and Butch goes, Mooner, go out there, take that face-off. I kind of looked at him like, what the? Yeah. So I jumped on the ice. Yeah, I jumped on the ice. Hughesy's still sitting in the face-off circle. I'm standing beside him. I was looking at the bench, looking at him. He goes, what are you doing? I was like, I didn't know how to tell him, hey, you're going off the ice. I kept looking at him, doing this. And he goes, what are you doing? I was like, you're going off. He goes, no, I'm not. And he's like, he goes, go. I'm like, and Bush kept yelling at me to stay on, stay. Hughesy, come off. And Hughesy came back off, slammed the door, broke his stick. The funny thing is, I won that face-off. I'll never forget this. When around to Emerton chipped it to me. I got I shot it at the red line, missed the net, the empty net. Tavares picked up that. Delzato picked it up, passed it to Tavares, and they scored, tied the game, beat us in overtime.
Oh, no way!
Fuck.
But you won the draw, though. That's the funny part, right? So it's like,
oh my,
half the job done.
I couldn't believe it because we ended up losing 3 straight and losing the series. I was like, holy moly! I was like, as a 16-year-old, I was like, but I thought I would be there. I thought I'd have a good team every year, right? People don't realize that playing the OHL, you have 1 to 2 years if you're going to stay in a 5-year, summer 5 years to have a run at something.
Oh, for sure, because you got to remember, most guys are there 4 years, right? Because there are only so many overagers, and not everybody makes it as a 16-year-old. So your average is 3 to 4 years, and then they're gone. You're rebuilding, or so obviously the rebuild doesn't take as long as the NHL, but you're right. Your window is only so big.
Yeah, unless you're a guy that's going to get traded every year, every 2 years to a contender,
Yeah.
you're almost if you're going to stay there for the long haul, you have 1 to 2 good years of runs that you can make it to the championship. The team can build one.
But even like as a 16-year-old, you probably wouldn't even realize that, right? You're thinking,
No,
oh no, we're good this year. Oh, not a big deal. We got next year, right? And then
that's 100%.
finally, your third or fourth year, you're like, holy shit, like, it's starting to run out, right?
Yeah.
Hell, that's exactly what I was thinking as a 16-year-old, thinking, oh, I have 3 more years of this stuff. And next thing you know, next year we're god awful, finish like last place or second last place. Third year, I think we didn't make playoffs. Third year I think we did make playoffs. We lost in the first round. And fourth year we lost in the first round too. And fifth year we were supposed to be good and we lost in the first round too.
So it's almost like every year's first round, eh?
Yeah. And so it wasn't like our teams, other than my fifth year and first year, my second, third, and fourth, we weren't built for it.
Yeah.
We had young guys. We had good Branson.
Yeah.
And he was a stud for I think we drafted him like 4th overall or 3rd overall in the O. And so he came back. Actually, Florida sent him back for that after his draft year for 1 more year. And he was in it, but he wasn't really, if that makes sense. He knew
he was ready to move on.
Yeah, he was ready. He was the man. He was ready to move on and be in the NHL. So it is, and we had his younger brother on our team too. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So,
yeah.
Being in Kingston, obviously, you're the top goal scorer. I didn't even know this till Fleming told me. You got the most goals in the history. Second in points. Am I
second
right
in points? Yeah.
Holy shit, Mooner! We got a friggin' France. I didn't realize I knew you were up there, but so obviously you're being one of the better players that's coming to Kingston. Who else would have been one of the top guys?
Hey, and most games played. Don't forget that.
Oh, there you go. Most games played. I didn't know that stat.
Yeah.
Well,
so
that one's a Mavity assist almost, right? Like he was the guy. Hey, Mooner, you're staying. You're our guy, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you ask me? Like, what kind of what players were good there, or what?
Yeah. So, like, who would you look back and go, okay, like looking back in the 5 years I was in Kingston, who's 2 or 3 of the top guys? Maybe when you played or even end up being even better and playing in the NHL.
I mean, I got to go. The 2 players that stick out was my 16-year-old Chris Stewart and Corey Emerton, Bobby Hughes. Those 3 guys.
Yeah.
I was in awe watching those guys play together. Going on, I'd almost say Alan Klein.
Yeah. He played for Belleville for a little bit too.
Yeah. He took a little bit to get into the league. Like, he was a high pick, but he took a little bit to get his legs under him. But once he did, his hands were unreal. His hands are filthy. But good Branson, he's a good stay-at-home guy. He's a good man. But he came in at like his first year. He's already 6'3" or 6'4", and so he was ahead of the game, anyways. But those guys, my first year is probably the best year I had with playing with studs.
Yeah. Speaking of your first year, yeah. So I think you had like Wallingford, you have Stewart too. So like a real tough team too, right? Are you open to talking about the brawl in Belleville or what? Because that's got to be one of the most famous things ever happened in Belleville. So for anyone that doesn't know, there was a huge brawl, right? And I think it was Matt Pellick, just completely jumps you like out of the blue, right? So he can't have just lost his head over your because you bumped him a little bit, right? There was nothing big. Well, you had to be going at him for what made him lose his mind. It couldn't have been just a bump.
No, he had it was funny because I actually played with my first year in the AHL. He played with Worcester when I went there.
Yeah.
And so what happened, so he missed one of our guys, and I thought he was coming around. So I'm the kind of guy, grindy guy. I'm going to try to get away with chippy kind of stuff. I elbowed him right in the jaw. And I turned around. Next thing you know, his gloves were off, and I was on the ground getting pummeled. And I'll never forget this, though. It was the funniest thing ever. Stewie got on the ice and challenged the whole Belleville bench and said, any one of you guys want to come on the ice? Let's go. You and me, center ice. And they kicked him out because they said, this guy's going to lose his mind. Well, Butch was our coach that year. And I won't forget this. I was on the bench, kind of like in the, when you get kicked out, you can come back and stand by the glass in the stands by your bench. Well, Butch goes, put our 5 guys up. So I think he put Bocek, Stevens, Bolt, Wallingford, and Shaka out there. Our 5 toughest guys. We had a tough team that year.
Yeah.
For
And
sure, yeah.
he basically said, "You guys know what to do. They don't pick on our 16-year-old like that."
And that it all just ensues and
Oh,
It was craziness, eh? Yeah.
And here, the funny thing is, here I am, a 16-year-old kid after the game. Like, well, I think we lost that game too. But here I am in the dressing room, like, fuck, I just started to brawl. Like, what's the coach going to come in and say to me? But there's probably suspensions coming to this. He comes in and taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Way to go, kid." I was
oh
like,
no way.
That's crazy.
You're like fired up. Oh shit.
"Yeah."
I'm gonna do this again.
I was like, "Serious?" He's like, "I like the way I like that style of play. That's why you play." I'm like, "All right, that works."
Yeah. So it seemed like, was there always a little bit something extra when you came and played Belleville? Because it seemed like whenever you would play Belleville, whether it was in the yard or in Kingston, you always seemed to be in fights with guys, right? I remember, and you said they drafted Sean Lalonde in the first round, right? I think you must have fought Lalonde like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. The funny thing with that is, I know the first 2 or 3 years, I guess there was a little more, especially the first year and second year, I guess coming back to Belleville, there's a little bit extra to give just because of my hometown and things like that. But I knew Sean from under 17, and growing up, I think he played in the Ottawa AAA. So we always played against each other too in tournaments and stuff like that. But when I came back, when that was it? Yeah, 2016. They had a good team that year. I'm pretty sure they went to like the Eastern Conference Championship or pretty close as his rookie year.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Mm-hmm.
And so
they would have had Bolesky, Matthias, and all those guys, I think.
Yeah.
So I came back home right after the first round, and I was back at school with them.
Oh.
And so I was in some of his classes, and so we got to know each other, and I don't know. He always wanted to. I don't know. It just happened, kind of. I knew he wasn't a tough guy, and I'm not a tough guy, so I said, "Let's just go." I'm the kind of guy. I ain't gonna fight no. I'm not no dummy. I'm not gonna fight no tough guy. I'm gonna stick you. I'll stick you, but I ain't gonna drop the gloves with you. So.
But no, that's pretty funny. You get to go to Quinny with him, right? So, like, I know Lalo. Lalo's a pretty good guy. I play ball hockey with him, and I still actually talk to him. He's playing over in the KHL right now. So he actually sent me a Snapchat the other day, and the KHL, they had, for one of the rooms on the road, it was like a dorm, like a single bed. I'm like, this is the KHL, I swear to God. And then the next day he was in another city, and it was like a nice hotel room. I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. I guess it was some shitty city. I couldn't even pronounce it. So
yeah, they're nuts.
That's pretty funny with him.
The KHL is nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah. Did you ever think about going? Well, you played a year over in England, didn't you?
Oh, I only made it 2 or 3
in
months.
the lockout or something, or was it only a couple months?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I played there 2 or 3 months. My liver couldn't handle it.
Well, you're just drinking every day.
I could not handle. My body couldn't handle it. I'll never get my first game there. I had like 4 points or 5 points, something like that. I get MVP or player of the game. They give me a case of beer.
What?
Yeah, they present you with
pro league over in what was it? England.
England.
Holy shit! So that's different than here.
Yeah, they legit call your name. Everyone lines up across the blue line. You go. They legit call your name and give you a case of beer.
I love that.
That sounds like your league, eh, Brokey?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Brokey's going to try out for a team in England tomorrow.
I don't think I'd be making the MVP 50 pounds overweight right now, but
man. So my first week there, I flew over there, and I'm living with 2 Brits in this tiny apartment, and they gave me the smallest room, no closets. So here I am. I had to go to, is it Kia? Yeah, Kia. Or whatever the store is called with all those.
IKEA. You're probably thinking of.
Yeah.
And buy a hang-up closet for my room. And they give me a smart car, a purple smart car.
What? No way.
You're driving on the wrong side of the road.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going around these roundabouts 10 for 10 minutes trying to figure out a way in.
Try not to get in an accident, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. And I go to breakfast. I kid you. I go to breakfast. It's like 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I asked one of the Brits who went to breakfast. I'm like, what's this guy doing besides? He has a piece of toast and from like four beers. What the hell's going on? And so I called the waitress comes over. I'm like, hey, what the hell's going on? I was just curious. He goes, oh, before 11 o'clock, you got to have at least something in front of you in order to order alcohol. So they would go there, order beer, and order toast, leave the toast on the table, and just chug the beer, then leave.
Oh, so that's the rule. You can't just order beer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
That's what's with the toast.
You would, my body, I had to leave. I had to leave after 2 months. I called the coach, said, man, I can't do this. He goes, what are you going on? I'm like, I just can't. I said, these bus drives are killing me. I said, so we went to Belfast, I think, one game, and we lost. We stopped at the bars for 3 hours. He goes, you have 3 hours to do what you want, and then get back on the bus and drove home.
That's a totally different lifestyle than over here. Holy shit.
And I already booked my flight when I told the coach I was leaving. I said, he goes, let's have a meeting. I said, too late. Where's my gear? I said, I'm coming in the morning to get my gear. My flight's at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm gone.
And do you already have something else lined up, like in the ECHL or AHL? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was coming back to Evansville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So maybe just tell us about because you played quite a few years pro and a lot of different teams. So maybe tell us a bit about the experience with that.
Yeah, I'm the kind of Brookie, you grew up with me basically. I was never the go hard, hit the gym, let's lift weights kind of guy. I just kind of I just show up to the rink, do my thing, I want to go home. And that's it. And do I regret any of that? No, not really. Mav always told me, even Butch, Bruce Cassidy, and everyone used to tell me, hey, if you played in the other centuries, he goes, you would have loved it. Back in the day, he goes, you would have loved it. You didn't have to worry about the gym. You didn't have to worry about anything else. You just came and played and went to have beers after. I was like, I wish that was nowadays. Time I got into it, man, you were hitting the gym in the summers for 3 hours, skating every day. And that's just, that wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was more kind of a guy where I kind of relied on my skill and my hockey sense and that kind of stuff. So I would say I played Worcester AHL my first year, and then the lockout happened in Springfield. I was with Columbus.
Okay.
And they had all their guys coming down. So Atkinson, Johansson, Calvert, Savard, they're supposed to be in the NHL that year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got sent down because they were on the entry-level contract still. And so it's a trickle-down effect.
Oh, yeah, you're going down almost half the team's going down a league almost, right?
Oh, and I'll never forget this because they kept me, those bastards kept me around just dangling me and making me, I kid you not, I was staying in a hotel. I'd be there at 7:30 in the morning, work out before the team, skate, bag skate after practice, then work out with the team after practice. So everyone else was already sent down. I was the last guy to be getting sent down, but they wouldn't tell me yet. I was like still the team. I was like the fifth line. I was just rotating in the third and fourth line.
Yep.
I was like, man, this shit sucks. Just send me down.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first regular season game comes. They call me, hey, you're going down. I'm like, all right, perfect. I was already ready. I was ready. I was like, get me the hell out of here. And so they go, well, you can't go to Evans because they're affiliated with Evansville. You can't go to Evansville. I'm like, I don't know where Evansville is, to be honest with you. So you need to go to Cincinnati because Evansville's full right now because they have too many contracted players. Because if you're under AHL or NHL contract and you get sent down, the ECHL doesn't pay you. The AHL or NHL team pays your.
Yeah, it just trickles. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they said they need to get rid of some players. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I got sent to Cincinnati for 2 games. My first game in Cincinnati, I'm like, what kind of league is this? 3 lines. I was like, holy, I'm tired as hell already.
I thought you said you were skating lots. You're in the gym at 7:30 and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You're in the gym having a fucking beer, an English beer.
I was on the bike making sure no coaches or trainers were in there, just watching TV.
That's funny though. There is the big difference from like the coast to the AHL, right? Is the
hell,
line?
You're playing every penalty kill, power play. You're going every other shift almost.
Yeah.
Well, so we played 2 games, whatever. I get called in his office. I didn't have any points those first 2 games. I was like, oh my God, I suck. Like I can't even score a goal in the ECHL.
Yeah.
I'm coming off my first year in the AHL with, I think it was 40 points or something like that, 30 some points. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on with me? And so he calls me and says, well, I'm going back to Evansville now because they cleared up some space. I'm like, all right, I don't know where the fuck Evansville is. I'm like, so when's my flight leave? He goes, flight? They're sending a cab for you. I said, a cab? Like a taxi?
So how far was it? How far is it?
3.5 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This ain't the big shows anymore, buddy.
Oh, Evansville sent a taxi from Evansville to Cincinnati to pick me up.
Oh, and then back.
And then back.
Holy shit, they might as well just pay for a flight. How much would a taxi cab be to go there and back?
No kidding. And then, we stopped at Taco Bell. The taxi driver stopped at Taco Bell. He's like, what do you want? And I said, what the hell are we doing? And this was at like 7 o'clock at night because we just got finished. Like, the taxi driver just got there. I'm like, I don't know, 5 tacos or 4 tacos and quesadilla. I'm going to the East HL team. I don't give a shit. I'm still getting paid my HL money. I don't care. And so I get into Evansville. They were a CHL team the year before. So this is the first year of these ECHL for Evansville. I get in there and there's a bunch of old guys. I'm like, I knew a couple of guys because they got sent down from Springfield. But they had some guys from the CHL before. This guy named Todd Robinson. Bald head, short midget. Drinking Mountain Dew between periods. I was like, holy shit, what kind of league is this? I'll tell you what, though, I never had so much fun in my life in the ECHL that year. The only thing, it's how bad like I have Springfield and Columbus, just didn't. So you'll think this is funny, Brokey. We were traveling to Florida. I was there all season, half the season until the lockout. We were driving to Florida to play the Everblades for a game. And I was like, fucking rights, I'm going to Florida. Like, I had my sons out, guns out, tank on. I was like,
ready for the beach, eh?
Yeah, I'm like, we're going partying. Like, we were there for we left on Wednesday, we were there till Monday or something. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait this. I was excited, jacked up. We arrive in Florida, and our coach of Evansville calls me in the front of the bus and says, you're going back up to Springfield. This is in December and January.
Oh, no way. You're joking. You're like, I don't even want to go back up.
I told him, I said, I'm not going. They said, you have to. I said, no, I'm not. They said, yeah, you are. And I was like, well, we have a practice, don't we? He goes, yeah. I'm like, well, I'll just fake an injury and say I can't go. And he was like, you can't do that. You can't practice, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, what clothes do you want me to wear? I have summer clothes with me. I'm going to Springfield, Massachusetts, near Boston, where it's middle of winter out. And he goes, oh, they said you can buy some stuff when you get there. I'm like, oh, well, thanks. My car and everything's in Evansville still. So I fly out. I'm in a hotel for 29. AHL, if you're in the hotel for 29 or 30 days, they owe you extra money for per diem and stuff like that. If you're under contract, they have 30 days or they have to pay for extra per diem. I'm like, all right. So my 29th day came or something like that. I'm like, fucking right, I'm going to get more money here. They send me down for a day.
Oh.
And then call me back up the next.
And just basically screw you so I don't have to pay you.
Yeah.
Come on. So do you actually have to go down and then back up?
Yeah. I had to fly
That's
there, fly back. I went to Evansville, played one game, flew back up the next day.
So they just did that just to.
How much would they have to pay you?
And then
Like,
did you go back to the hotel?
Yeah.
How much was the per diem they owed you? Because like the flight has to be like fucking a couple $1,000, right? Like,
They would have owed me. It was like 75.
Oh, flights are cheap in the States, though.
Yeah. They would owe me like $75 or $80 a day.
Yeah, for 30 days.
Well, I mean, you can get flights. Flights are way cheaper in the States than they are in Canada, though. It's not like $600 away. Like it's not like that. They've got like Spirit Airlines, and sometimes you can get it for like $100 away. Or I know Emil and I remember when we saw you play against Andrew.
Yeah,
we flew out of Detroit and we paid like $120 or $150 a person out of Detroit to Kansas City there and back. So like you can get cheap flights. It's
okay.
I don't know if it's the taxes up here in Canada, but it's like honestly, it's gonna be up to like 5-10 times the price.
Everything's so far away in Canada too, right? Like fuck.
Yeah.
Not like the States.
That's the thing is, and so I get called up. I stay in a hotel for another 20 days, and they finally say, hey, we're sending you back down to Evansville to pick up the rest of your shit, and you're going to come back up for good. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so over this season. I'm done with it. And so we end up going on a run. I think we went to the second or third round in Springfield, and I didn't play a single playoff game. They just kept me there. So I would skate, bag skate, work out, and then I'd just go golf. I legit, in the playoffs, I practiced with different people. Like, I didn't practice with the team.
Oh, really? So it's kind of like a Black Ace type
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess, like, after all you've been through that year, it seems like it's pretty frustrating, right? Like, I've played your games, I've played in this, lived here for a month, and you send me back down, and I'm back for another 20 days, and then now I'm not even playing.
Yeah.
It's definitely a grind. It's definitely got to be a grind on it, where you could be playing some games in Florida, hitting up the beach with your, your guns out. And...
No kidding. I was looking forward to that.
So you must have got to play some games in Florida eventually against somebody.
No,
right?
I never played a game in Florida again.
Oh, no?
Really?
Nothing.
No.
So never.
I played in Orlando a couple games. That's about it.
Orlando. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was with Evansville. Yeah.
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 So what else? Like, what are the road trips like down there? Playing in the coast and whatnot, and
they are a grind.
yeah. Now, will you guys play poker or anything like that, or
Yeah, we play Schnarps.
What's it called?
Schnarps.
Schnarps. Okay, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, and so basically, you either have 0 per diem left when you get there, or you have tons of per diem.
So you're playing for that? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we go on 12-hour bus trips, 22-hour bus trips down to Texas and that kind of stuff. I mean, it was fun, but I think it was my 5th year. Yeah, because I was in Colorado. Evans, the year after I signed with Evansville, the coach, I didn't want to be here. I was kind of over. I wanted new scenery, so I got traded to Colorado. That's for trading going to Colorado. Unbelievable spot. They treat you like gold. I was in Hadley, and I was in like a townhouse, 2-car garage. Like, it was right beside a golf course. It was unbelievable.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Well, the year after,
would that be the best spot you played in, you think?
Oh, 100%. I wish I never left. But how I left was they wanted to re-sign me the following year. Well, we were getting married that next year, and I knew the coach coming into Evansville, and we were talking. I wanted to come back here because it's easier for her to plan the wedding and all that kind of jazz. Her family's from here and all that kind of stuff. I was going to play here a few more years, maybe coach, and move on. But so we finally get all that situated away. I get traded back to Evansville. Fucking Evansville's folded that year. My last year here in Evansville. And so we got married. Yeah. And the owner even told me to my face, hey, we're going to be around for forever, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, because I'm only coming back if you're going to be here. Because I'm not going to come back for 1 year. And so we folded. Yeah. So at that summer, going into my last year pro, my head wasn't into it. I was just kind of over it. I didn't want to go. I didn't really want to play anymore. And because I knew I was a veteran now, and the vet rule, you can have 3 vets, and usually those vets are usually people that have been around for a long time with that team. And I was so accustomed to Evansville. I just wanted to stay here. I knew people here, made friends here. Her family's from here. And so my last year I bounced around, and I was like, my head was never into it. I was so close to just saying, I'm done. And then she wanted to get up the following year. I said, I'm done. My body's over it. Time to move on with life.
Well, I know I know when we saw you, it was during your last year there in Kansas City. It actually was funny because you got traded a couple times. Like, we already have our trip booked. And then all of a sudden one day, I think Hale was like, fucking Mooner just got, what was the team that
Wichita.
Mooner just got traded to Wichita. I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, well, that's the team we're going to see. I'm like, oh, that's sick. So, but when we talked to you after the games, like, you can kind of tell, like, it's definitely a grind, like you say, all these bus trips, switching teams and going up and down. Obviously that wears on you, right? And then obviously you're married, you got family. There comes a time where it's like, maybe it is time to move on, right? And
well, I don't understand.
At least you got to do it and you got to enjoy it. And I'm sure you got a ton of experiences and friendships out of it too, right? So
I could have played probably 3 or 4 more years. I just didn't want to. My body, I always wanted to end on my own terms. And that was the year. To be honest, I don't know how people are 35, 33 years old playing the ECHL still. It drives my head crazy seeing that. I'm like, what's going on with your life? Just hanging on to not going to go anywhere with.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I mean, you don't get paid big bucks.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you're barely die.
Now, yeah, it's a big drop off from an AHL salary, isn't it? To the coast, kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the top ECHL guys.
Obviously, there's different perks too, and everything.
Oh yeah, the ECHL, you don't pay for your place, right? They pay for that, so you don't got to worry about that.
So the last time you played was like 2016, 2017. So you're officially retired now?
Oh yeah. I haven't stepped on the. I played once in a men's league here, or a couple times with a men's league team, and you guys have no idea what Midwest hockey is compared to Canada.
Yeah.
Well, describe it. So like
they can't even skate.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I remember when I was down there in Kansas, it was like people didn't know what offsides were sometimes. They just went to the game for entertainment, right? Like they want to see some hits, some fights, some goals, but they don't know what the rules are. What happened there? Well, it was an icing. You know.
That's exactly right.
And I think down there, I remember, like Southern States, and they have like, remember we could go rent rollerblades? I think you could do that. You go to the rink, and a lot of people didn't own skates. You could rent skates, like the plastic ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do that.
And like none of that's here in Canada. We all own skates, right? We all you got a pair somewhere, even if you hadn't skated.
Well,
years.
I'll tell you a funny thing.
It's just totally different lifestyle.
I built a rink in my backyard this winter for the first time, and you can't do it in the Midwest. I'll never do it again. I think I used it 3 days of this winter. Was cold enough you could use it. That's it. It's like
so it's just like, all that effort,
all that work. Yeah.
Oh, it was a pain. And then, like, you think about it, it's 30 degrees one day, 50 the next, 10 the next, 60 the next. So time it freezes, it's going to melt again.
Yeah.
So it's not even worth putting one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No, it's definitely in Canada. Sometimes it's getting a little bit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts here. I love it here. I mean, I'm used to it now. I mean, this is obviously my home now, so I'm kind of just moved on. And I was back home, 2 summers ago, I want to say? Yeah, 2 summers ago. Now COVID hit, so I haven't been able to get back home. My mom hasn't been able to come back up here, so.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be a challenge, right? Obviously, not being able to see your family and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be Brandon must miss you. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he FaceTimes me. He FaceTimes me once in a while to see the kids and that kind of stuff and see what he's up to.
Yeah. Anyway, so I got a question for you, Nate. Do you watch much NHL anymore? Any hockey leagues there or anything? Or is it kind of like you've had enough of it and you're ready, like you've moved on? And because I know a lot of guys we talk to, they're like, you know what, I don't follow it too much anymore because that was your life for so many years, right?
Yeah.
That's exact. You hit it. I don't really watch anything anymore. Playoffs, I'll catch it here and there. But actually, this was the first year I kind of helped out a high school team here. And next year, I'm going to be coaching the high school team here. And so it's
be cool. Yeah.
It is crazy. Like this weekend, we were at state tournament and we lost. The team I'm going to be coaching lost in the semifinals in state tournament, but they're going to nationals. It's crazy here. So you have to put it's like a pick of the hat. Your name gets drawn to go to nationals. It's not like the winner of the state goes to nationals.
Really? Eh?
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, so they're going to be going to nationals and playing against Philippines.
Is high school hockey like really, really big there? Yeah. Or, I mean, obviously it's not going to be like football or anything, but.
No, yeah, high school hockey is all they have.
Yeah. Now, don't some guys get drafted out of high school hockey? I think the NHL. I swear I've heard guys.
It's more Minnesota area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, our team's going to nationals, and they're going to get absolutely smoked up there. Like, it's not even.
They're all. It's like kind of like another Canada.
Yeah, it's not even going to be funny. and they're all excited to go. I'm like, you guys are gonna get smoked. Why even waste your money?
Oh, that'll be fun. They could talk about it in 20 years, right?
Oh man, some of these guys they talk about hockey, they think they know what they're talking about. Like we had a guy I played men's league with. He went to Division 3 or 4, whatever you call it here in the States. And he goes, "Yeah, I got a scholarship." They tell all these guys to get scholarships. He didn't realize I was in the room. And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's really good." I was like, "You ding dong! You don't get scholarships for Division 3 and Division 4 for hockey." And he goes, "Oh, I mean, I got an academic scholarship."
Yeah.
I said, "You know."
Oh, so he's, and then just, yeah.
I was like, "You got to pay to play in Division 3 and 4 where you're going." It was club. It was
Oh,
club
yeah.
hockey.
Oh, a lot of,
Yeah.
there's guys around here even I know that I've told people, oh yeah, I went and played college hockey in the States, and you look and they went like to a, went to school there and played like in a club league or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's not like going play for North Dakota or something like or Colgate or like that's totally different. Like they're not even on the same atmosphere, but I don't know. I guess if they're playing hockey and they love it, just some people like the bullshit, I guess, right?
No shit. And that's people try to talk about me with me here. I'm like, man, I don't even want to talk about it. I just kind of walk away sometimes, to be honest. I'm like, I don't want. I said, you guys, your hockey and my hockey are two different things.
Now, well, is anybody good on your team next year that you're going to coach?
Well,
what would you compare it to?
I'd compare it to our maybe single A back home.
Oh, okay. So it's a few levels down, but
yeah, maybe double A. You might challenge a couple double A teams, but nowhere near triple. We actually have a couple triple A kids that play here on our high school team practice with us. They play in Indy for the triple A team there. They travel a shit ton. They're from Evansville. They play triple A in Indy, so they're decent. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Well, the triple A teams in the States, I know some of them. It's insane too, right? Like they have to travel so much, and they'll fly to tournaments and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them will just play a ton of tournaments.
Yeah, that's what most of them do here. Most of them just play tournaments. That's it. They don't have any league.
Well, because it's so. How do you play a league when you got to travel so far, right? Or the league is just shit. You're not just wasting your time.
Exactly right.
Like in those big tournaments, where you would have played a lot. The Marlies tournament. Remember the Marlies tournament over Christmas? There was always a ton of states teams there, and they're always fucking good too.
Like Bell Tire.
Was good. Caesars. There was one. I'm trying to think where it was. You would have played them too. Oh fuck! I'll think of it. It was somewhere in the southern states a little bit, but they were really good. Started with a W or something, maybe. Fuck. Something wilder. But anyways, it don't matter. But just another example of like they'd get guys that are like the whole friggin' state, and they'd be on a almost like a super team, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a super team.
Because then they can't, like, you imagine one team in Ontario? Like, you couldn't even, how would you even pick that?
No.
So
What's
kids,
the thing?
Right?
They go, when I first moved down here and I started getting involved this year, they're like, first year Bantam Pee-wee. I said, Bantam Pee-wee, what the hell are you guys talking about? They said, oh, they combine. I said, you guys don't have minor Bantam, minor midget, major midget.
So they got like 4 teams and combined.
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit. That's got to be rough if you're like the young guy too, right? Playing against, you're like 10 years old playing against 14-year-olds.
Yeah, so high school from grade 9 to grade 12.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So
that's one team.
That's one team. Yeah. But speaking of that, didn't you play a little bit for Wellington? I think I remember this when you were 14.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Those are the fun days.
Was Marty the coach?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Marty was the coach.
Oh,
yeah.
Todd.
Oh, Todd. So Todd would have been there, and then Marty came after, probably.
Yeah. So Dafo and Chamberlain used to come to Quinny and get me out of school early.
Oh.
They go to practices.
And you've been what, grade 9?
Yeah.
You're probably loving it, especially those two guys. Oh shit.
And Freeland too, and Freeze. Freeland would do that. Yeah.
Well, Chambo was supposed to, like, if Chambo was drafted the year before, he was the first rounder of the O. But then he slipped and he ended up going like 6th round or whatever. But when he was a kid, he was like the top kid around.
Really?
And then and then he kind of drifted away and ended up playing, I think, 4 years in Wellington. I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't seen him in a while.
I don't know.
I know I see Dafo all the time. He just had a girl actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, because here these guys are at a high school. I'm in the change room, a grade 9, they're talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? Walking around and all that kind of stuff. Here I am.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
And they're like 20, like some of the guys, right?
Yeah. Like I played with Cooper.
Oh, Cooper. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I forget his first name.
And Meg.
He was,
Meg.
Megna, or they were on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You're 2 years older than me. Or sorry, you're 2 years younger than me, and you played junior A games before I did. Holy fuck. Because I remember watching that year. Scotty Fleming played that year. I'm pretty sure, didn't he?
Chris OJ would have been on that team too, right?
Chris OJ would have been on that team.
Yeah.
They had a good team that year. But I know the guys you're talking about, the Cooper kid and the Magna guy. They were like, I think they were the 20-year-olds.
And then
they were good. Sorry, say it again.
Tyler Lyon, is that his name?
Oh, Lyon. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been. I think he's Dave's age.
Yeah, he was.
Actually, I went golfing with him in October. He's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm 14 years old with these guys. I'm like, what? On the bus trips, going to Bancroft or somewhere like that. What the hell is going on?
Oh yeah, the things they would have been talking about different to a 14-year-old. Especially you come in like you're a year at a grade 8, like the jump from grade 8 to grade 9 is a big jump, anyways. And then you go to like the 20-year-olds like. Who knows what they've experienced compared to you, right? Like, you're probably talking about grabbing a girl's boob on top of her shirt.
Yeah.
We can imagine what you're talking about.
Here I am, getting my Gitch on, and they're like walking around. I'm like, what the hell's going on in here?
Oh, shit. Yeah. And then obviously going to Kingston. So I don't know, Fun, you got any more questions, bud? You had a couple more.
I did want to
I'll tell you a quick story about back to the AAA days, okay? I think it was our minor midget year. You remember Carl McKenzie?
I think so.
He was our head coach. So Sammy, me, Tanner, and Stapes. And Stapes, you ever listen to this? We always still call you the garbage goal guy, okay? Garbage man. So we had semi-formal. I'll never forget. We had semi-formal at Quinney. So we went to Carl and we were like, hey, can we miss practice because we get a semi-formal? And he goes, make the right decision. We're like, okay. So all four of us said, all right, we're going to skip it and go to semi-formal. Well, that son of a bitch, Tanner and Stapes, don't show up at Halsey's house. Just me and Halsey are there. They go to practice. And Sammy and me are there. We're like, screw it. Let's just go. So we were playing Richmond Hill the following night. Sam was by far our best defenseman, right? He was our best. Like his shot was hard. His shot was really hard, and it was me and him always. So we get sat for the first period and a half. We were supposed to sit the whole game. We get down 3-0, and Carl goes. Just looks at both of us. We're in the middle of the bench. Goes, go. We end up winning that game like 4-3 or 5-4. I had like 4 or 5 points, and he had 3 points or 4 points, and we were just laughing at Carl the whole game after that. It was the funniest game of my life. Halsey and me were just laughing at it, and we were so mad at Stapes and Tanner. We were just laughing at them.
Oh, I remember Johnny Stapes. So Johnny Stapes, when he was younger, we used to buy those half Mickeys. And I remember he just would chug them. And one time, so he chug them, and he put on a show. You don't even think he was 19. We were like, this is when we used to work out at Crow's Fitness. And one time we're sitting at my bar, and he's chugging it. And then it's down. And then all of a sudden he goes like this. And he starts, he's puking, but like this. Holy fuck, John, it's all over my bar, everything. He was nuts back then, Johnny. I haven't seen that guy in a while. I was talking to him, I think, like a year ago on Facebook or something, but he's in Ottawa, I think. Yeah.
You remember Corbin?
Yep. Oh, yeah, Corbin. Oh, yeah.
So I played with him in Kingston for a year and a half.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, that guy had a rocket. Holy shit, he could shoot a puck.
So he's not the brightest, right?
No. You said it, not me, buddy.
He might be brighter now, who knows? But so we went to the same high school, right? And so I was his driver. I had driving to practice and stuff. So we never went to fourth period class when we get practice. We go to practice instead. I looked for this kid everywhere in the school. Nowhere to be found. And so we had other kids in our school. We're like, all right, let's go to practice. I don't know. Maybe Corbin just didn't come to school today. I don't know. Get to the rink. He calls Mav. Where's Mooner? He goes, Mooner's in the dressing room. He's supposed to take me to practice. But he said you weren't at school. He goes, yeah, I was sleeping. I was sleeping in the hallway. They called it the bear pit where we're at the school. Well, he was sleeping on the far side where no one can see you. Teacher can't see you. The students can't see. So he was like in the cafeteria, by the cafeteria, but he was sleeping by there where no one could find him. So he wouldn't get in trouble because he wasn't in class.
Oh, what a guy.
And so we could not find this guy. So here he comes. I think he took a taxi to practice. And he goes, "Why'd you get me?" I said, "I didn't know where you were." He goes, "I was sleeping." I was like, "Corbin." He was just the stuff he would do, man. I would head off at that kid.
Yeah.
He was a fun kid that you'll ever meet.
Oh, nuts. Well, I remember working out with him at Crow's Fitness, me, him, and Solzy, and there was other guys. And we'd go out. So you work out and then go back and hang, like we were teenagers then.
Yeah.
Go hang out at Solzy's or my house, play road hockey. Well, the guy would wear the same shirt the whole day. He'd work out in the shirt, like sweating.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change clothes, nothing, go back out. We would do whatever. We go out for dinner, still wearing the same shirt. Like, wow.
He's nuts. He would
Yeah.
when he played with me in Kingston, he would lay people out.
Oh yeah. He was built like a rock. Like he was, and he could shoot. Like, and I remember him ball hockey too. Like, just guy had a rocket.
Well, he was in London before he came to Kingston.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. With the Hunter brothers. Yeah.
I don't think he meshed well with the strict hunters.
Yeah.
And so he got traded to us, and he loved it because he could do what he wanted.
Yeah, no, that's the rumor, and that's another question we should ask you. That's the rumor of Kingston through the years. Maybe it was the Mavity, was you could kind of get away with a lot more than all these other places, and right? Was it like that, or?
100%. If he liked you and you were one of his guys and one of your top guys on the team, you could get away with anything. Like I had Dougie G as my coach there.
Yeah. What was that like?
Oh my! The win or lose, he would have a Grey Goose bottle like this, and before he can give the end of the game speech, he just have it in his hand and just start drinking. I'll never forget it. We had our assistant coach was a rat. I won't mention his name, but he's a little rat.
Yeah.
And he made Dougie. I was doing curfew calls my 4th year. I wouldn't call anyone. I said, everyone was.
Yeah, everyone called. They're all good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Darren decided to call curfew one day, whatever. Me, my Tyler Bescowan, he played in the O and then high draft pick to the NHL. He was a goalie. We were in our place at 10 o'clock, whatever. I don't know what the hell we were doing. It was so long ago. Who knows?
Yeah.
Ages. Yeah. Maybe we were. So we get back and our bill has a note on the table saying, Darren called and I told him you weren't here. I was like, you little rats. And Darren, you're the biggest rat I've ever met. So I go to practice the next day. And Dougie G goes, you're not playing tonight, Nathan. I'm like, I said, fuck, I'm not. And then he said, Besco, you're going to back up. And Besco's like, okay, whatever. He already signed his contract. He didn't give a shit. And so he goes, you guys can just go home now. Don't worry about morning skate. I'm like, okay. Sounds good to me. So Mav was coming to the train and I was pissed. He was parking in the parking lot when we were going out. I said, Mav, I'm out of here. He goes, wait, what are you talking about? I said, my gear will be packed up here in a little bit and you can trade me. I said, I won't be back. I was so pissed. And he goes, Mooner, come here. He goes, what's going on? I said, they told me I wasn't playing. He goes, for what? I'm like, curfew. He goes, all right. I get a call 10 minutes later from Dougie. You're playing tonight. And Besco's playing too.
So that was Mav.
So we had some pull there, right?
So, like, was that a Dougie thing, though? Or was that almost like he had to do it because he told the team?
Yeah. Well, this is another, Ethan Werrick. He played in Kingston with me, and he was drafted by Arizona. So the bars in Kingston are downtown, right? Where was our, whatever you call it now? What's it called now? The K-Rock Center still, or the Leon Center? Whatever you call it?
It's called something else now.
Yeah,
I forget. We were talking
I'm
about
not
that,
sure.
Fleming. And
I don't remember what we'd landed on.
Leon's?
It might be Leon's now, yeah.
Something like that.
Well, so we were playing Friday night, and we all brought our bar gear down to the rink because we weren't going to go back home. We all lived on the east side. So
stay down after.
Yeah. So we got shit kicked like 10-1 or something like that. I was like, holy moly. And then assistant coach comes in and goes, you guys aren't going out anywhere. I'm calling curfew tonight, blah, blah. And Dougie Jesus there sipping away. And he pulls me and Ethan aside, me and Warwick, and goes, "Listen, go have fun tonight. I'll make sure there's no curfew calls." And we're like, "Fucking all right, well, here we go."
So it's that assistant coach that you don't like, right?
Yeah, he was a meathead.
Some of those coaches, and I know I had a couple where it was like they're almost like control freaks.
Yeah.
Where, you lost a big game, and some of the best times sometimes when you lose a big game is to go out and fucking blow the steam off and get over it and regroup. And a lot of times if you go out with guys, you're creating like a bond with your team, right?
Yeah.
Rather than everyone sitting at home fucking pouting and not
Yeah.
getting over the game and bringing that same, attitude the next day. Sometimes you just got to get out of your system.
100%.
Right.
That was a big Kingston. I don't know if it was the curfews and all that kind of jazz. I just think we didn't have, I don't know if it's stability, or we never had a team where we had like the London Knights or Belleville Bulls with Pither and all those guys. We didn't have a team like that ever.
Yeah.
If you were there and Mav liked you and you were producing for him, he didn't care what you did.
Yep.
He even told me that when he was a coach in Belleville, he told me a story with Brenda. What was his name? Danny Clary.
Danny Cleary. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said Brenda used to run our pro shop. And she's like, "You remind me of Clary." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because you both don't give a shit, and you both don't like working out." I said, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Let me tell you a story about Clary." So Mav put curfew in one night, and Clary's billet was right across the road, around the corner from Mav and Brenda's.
Yep.
Well, he answers the phone from Mav, hangs it up, and takes on his car around and goes back to the bar. And the next morning, Mav goes, "Where were you?" And he goes, "I was at home." And Brenda goes, "Where were you, Clary?" He goes, "I was at home. I told you." And Brenda goes, "I saw your car pass you." He goes, "Oh, yeah, I was at the bar." And he goes, "As long as you don't lie to me, I don't care what you do. Go out and score some goals."
Yeah.
So that's the kind of guy Mav is and Mav was. So, I was blessed to play there. Now, could my career went? I don't know if I went somewhere else. I think I was just blessed being in Kingston, and I had a great 5 years there. I always produced, and who knows what could have happened. But like I said, I have no regrets.
Yeah, it's hard to say afterwards. If I would have been a little bit worked out more, or would have been a more strict place, I might have went farther. But maybe it goes the opposite way too, right?
Yeah.
Maybe letting you, like the way you are, the type of person you are, letting you kind of go out and do what you want. Maybe that helped you over the years, because obviously you had success when you're in Kingston, right? You played the most games, you got the most goals, and second in points. Like that doesn't just happen by just playing.
No, yeah, right? Exactly. So, and the big thing with Kingston is, and Mav, my coaches there, is I could do whatever I wanted on the ice, and I knew nothing would happen to me. There was always, I'll never forget, Mav brought in, might have been Stevens, my 16, 17, 18-year-old year. Yeah. And I'll never forget Bobby Bolt, my 16-year-old, goes, "You can go do whatever you want, and no one's going to touch you." And that was just kind of my whole career. That we always had someone there where I could run my mouth. I was always running my mouth.
Yeah. Throw an elbow up in someone's face.
Yeah, I was always. But I was never. I don't think I can ever say I got the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah. You had backup, right? Like
yeah, exactly. I never got the shit kicked out of me. I was like, "Oh shit, I ain't doing this anymore."
Yeah.
Well, then that goes back to my first year in the A with Worcester. Is I had 12 fights that year. I think 10 or 12 fights, and I had the best year. I led my team in rookie scoring. I was like pretty good up there in rookie scoring for the whole league. But the coach loved fighting, so I just started fighting everybody, and it worked out. But things you got to do. But looking back, I'm like, should I maybe sign with it? Because before I signed with Columbus or Springfield, they wanted to re-sign me, but Springfield's offering more money. I'm like, should I resign with Worcester? Who knows? Like I said, you can't look in the past. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely hard to look back. Now, you were drafted, what, was it 4th round by Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Did you go to a couple of their camps?
Yes.
What were they like? Like, what's it like going to an NHL camp then?
It's a grind.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, I'll never forget. And this is kind of my first year went to rookie camp. I was just excited to go back to junior. To be honest with you, after rookie camp, I didn't want to go to main camp because I was that exhausted. I was that tired. I wasn't in shape. I was just tired. I was like, I just want to go back to Kingston and be me. I just want to go be me and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My second year, they called me in after, what was it, main camp. Yeah, I went to rookie camp, went to main camp, I think I played 1 or 2 exhibition games. And then they posted the fucking fitness testing in front on the boards. And they'd never done that before. And I'm dead last in everything. Dead last in everything.
Was that trying to prove a point? Maybe that's what they were doing by embarrassing guys or what?
Oh, 100%. They're just trying to embarrass or prove a point to me. I got called 10 minutes later saying, "You see those stats?" I said, "Well, yeah, they're posted."
Yeah, we also saw them.
Yeah. And so, like, Lemieux was in there. All those guys were in there. The brass.
Yeah.
They go, "We're going to keep you around." I think it was 2 more days. And said, "We're going to send you down." So then I got sent down. And that was my signing year. I had to sign that year. Well, I was having a good year. But we were in Erie. And this is what sticks out to me. We were in Erie playing against the Otters, and they were shit that year. I think it was. They were shit. But we had a rookie goalie in, Frankie Pell. I think his name was Frankie or something like that. Our goalies were hurt. And the whole breath. Usually they would tell you when they're coming to the games. They'll give you a text saying, "Hey, we're coming to watch you play tonight." Well, they didn't tell me because we were in Erie, so they're right there, right?
Yep.
So after the game, get called in. The whole brass is there, just lighting my ass up, just eating me alive, saying, "You're an embarrassment," blah blah. Like, I think we lost like 8-1. Said you're supposed to lead this team. You didn't show any character, above all this kind of different stuff. I was like, holy. And at the very end, it goes, "We wasted our time." I was like, okay. And he goes, "You got anything to say?" I said, "Nope, you covered everything." And from that point on, I knew I wasn't gonna sign with them. I mean, that was I think that was the ticket. The funny thing is, my third year they offered me a contract after the year, and my agent told me not to sign it because I was going to get more money the following year, and then I ended up not signing anything.
Oh, so it's kind of a bit of a game then.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the funny part about the whole thing. But, I mean, you can look at everything like you said. I got drafted to Pittsburgh in the prime time of Crosby, Malkin, Letang.
Yeah.
You name it, they're in their prime. So, for me, their plan for me, they even told me, was to play the wing on Malkin or Crosby, down the line. And looking back, I'm like, if I would have got drafted to a different team or a rebuilding team, would it be something else? I don't know. But I said, like you said, I don't look in the past. I don't regret anything. I mean, I put up points every year, and that's all I really, really cared about doing, having fun.
It's definitely hard to look back at it, but we'll go ahead.
Did you ever skate with Crosby or Malkin? And if so, how were they? Like, are they just unreal or what?
Malkin is the funniest guy you ever meet. He didn't speak. I was there, but he would just go through the motions, throw sauce everywhere, stick handle, dangler. And Crosby, the hardest worker I ever seen. Hardest worker. I was even there with Paul Bissonnette.
Oh, nasty, were you?
Yeah.
What was he like?
He didn't have good things to say about Pittsburgh either sometimes. Like, he was he's been pretty outspoken about them.
Because he called me out the one time, I'll never forget. He's like, because I wasn't working out or something. I was just sitting watching TV or something. He told me to get off my ass or something and go work out. I just got my clothes on and went back to the hotel. Day was over.
Got enough of that, eh? Not doing any Crosby stuff. That's sick. And would Letang have been there?
Yeah, Letang was there.
He probably would have been good too, eh? Like, he's nasty.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. I think Guerin was there too that year.
Oh wow,
yeah.
So like Gary Roberts kind of in that time too, and
no, Roberts wasn't there. I don't think. I think Guerin was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was great going to those camps. I mean, it was a lot of fun. But
didn't Pittsburgh win the cup one of those years too?
Yeah,
09 or something.
So the year I got drafted, I lost in the final, and the year after I got drafted, they won it.
That's right. Yeah, because they played Detroit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Detroit?
Yeah.
It was a flip flop or whatever.
Yeah.
And Hossa switched teams. He was on Pittsburgh and went to Detroit lost both. And then the third year he went to Chicago and won it.
Yeah.
Imagine being that guy though, like switching teams and then the other team wins the cup. Oh man, I can only imagine what he's thinking, but making about $8 million a year though. I mean,
I'll take that.
Take that any day, right? Plus the bonuses in the playoffs anyways, right? So
no kidding. I'll take that all day.
Yeah. Well, Flem, you got any more questions? We're going for a while here, buddy.
No, I don't think I got anything else to you. Or
no, I think
we just kind of touched on everything as we're going. Yeah.
Well, it's good to hear from you, buddy. I haven't seen you in so
too.
long.
No kidding.
Hopefully this COVID gets over, and if you're back in Belleville, maybe this summer we'll get Halsey together and maybe go have a few pint skis.
Sounds good. Maybe play one of those tournaments you guys are hosting.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be doing a ton of tournaments. Again, COVID, hopefully COVID's gone, but we got a lot of that going on. So definitely tons of fun, buddy. But we appreciate you coming on today. It's good. It's good to hear some of the stories and all that.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
There's tons of stories out there.
We can always go on and on for hours, eh? So maybe one of these times later down the road, we'll get you and somebody else on.
Yeah,
that works. Yeah.
Someone
that
together or whatever. Eh?
Or maybe we'll do one live and have some drinks or something. Eh, bro?
Oh, there we go. Next time you're in Belleville, we'll hit it up.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Well, thanks a lot, eh? Appreciate it.
No problem. You guys are doing a good job.
Okay, bud. Take care.
Thanks, bud.
Well, guys, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed that interview with Nathan Moon. He is quite the character, as you can see. He's a great guy. He's living in the States. One thing I didn't notice, and Mooner, when you're listening to this, you've got quite that accent, buddy. Hey, I don't even know if I could fake it, but I forgot to say something on it. Holy shit, is your accent ever thick now? It's like you were born down there. Anyways, buddy, we appreciate the interview. I hope everybody that watched it really, really loved it. Like we said, guys, we have a lot of things going with this right now. We're having a ton of fun doing these podcasts. And whenever I see guys around town, they're all telling me, "Oh, I listen to the podcast. I really like the interview with this guy or that." And so we're getting a lot of positive feedback, guys. So we really, really appreciate that. And obviously, we have another part of the business, which is Pay It Forward Sports, which we just run tournaments and events. And like we said, we have our first tournament, March 27th at the World Elite Training Center. Here's my hat here. Shout out to them. They are our head sponsor, and they're doing a lot of stuff for us. We really, really appreciate it. If you're looking to get there, they have leagues there for men's. If you're looking to get more in depth into hockey, maybe you've got a son who needs training, skills training, skating training, you name it. Maybe it's a young kid. I know my buddy there is one of his, I think his son's three or fourth. And I think he's in his fourth year, and he's getting him into power skating. They have some of the best trainers there. They've got NHL experience. I know Nicole Coons there trains guys that have played in the OHL for 4 years, in the NHL, you name it. Her mom actually trained me power skating when I was a young kid, and they do an awesome job. So they've got, I'm talking decades worth of experience, guys. So these guys are really, really awesome. Not only that, they sell some true skates, sticks. I think they've got some equipment there. There's a bar there, so if anybody wants to rent the ice or anything like that, you can go and have some food, have a couple drinks, whatever the case. It's an awesome facility, and we can't wait to have our first tournament there, eh, Flum?
Oh yeah, we're so pumped for it. So yeah, March 27th, guys, tune in. We are going to do some awesome things at our tournament, right? So like we said, we want everyone to feel like professional at our tournament. So when you come in, you're going to get the A+ treatment here. So thank you to World Elite, and we look forward to partnering with them and hosting our event there on March 27th.
Yeah, and just one thing to add to that, guys. We are looking for, we call them B sponsors or B partners. So our first partner is World Elite for this tournament. They are a head sponsor. So the tournament is a men's 3-on-3, Pay It Forward men's 3-on-3 tournament sponsored by World Elite Training Facility. But we are looking for B sponsors. And if you are interested, it's $100. That's it. We're going to give you shout outs on this podcast. We're going to give you shout outs on all of our social media accounts. We're going to have a banner there with your logo on it. We'll have your business cards there. We're going to make sure that you're going to get more clients. Simple as that. So if you want to have, we've got over 65 guys going to be at our tournament. It's going to be a ton of fun. They're going to be in different groups. So it's COVID safe. They'll be there at different times. So if you want to attract some people and they're going to be fans on or face to face with you with your product or your business cards, or be able to call you, give us a call, guys. We want to help you out, and you're going to be able to help us out. And we also have more tournaments we're working on. Hopefully by next week, Flem, we're going to have our next tournament, which we're hoping for mid-April.
Yeah, mid-April. Look for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be coming up as another men's tournament, and then we're also working on something for May, and we've got tournaments for every single month. Not all hockey. There's going to be some other sports. So guys, stay tuned. This is going to be a ton of fun. Everybody's going to have a blast. Not only that, not only are we going to get adults in action, playing sports, having fun, hanging out with friends again, we are going to get kids. Part of the proceeds, part of the money we make, we are going to get kids in sports. Plain and simple. We're going to get equipment paid for. We're going to get registration. We're going to make this a better community than it was before.
Yeah, that's very nicely said, Broke. Yeah, so that is our main mission. We want to get as many kids as possible in sports, and we want not just the kids, but the adults, and we want all the Quinte region to get back out there and playing sports. And we really want all our local organizations to become the best sport program in Ontario. So yeah, we're looking to make this happen, and come tune out or come check us out March 27th. And I think that's it for today, though, right, Broke?
Yep. So we'll see everybody on Saturday. Can't wait to chirp Flem.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, by the way, we did champ or chump the other day. We actually tied, so neither of us were the champ or the chump. But we'll do champ or chump again on Saturday, and I can't wait to have that title belt on my shoulder again, buddy.
Perfect. So thanks for checking us out, everyone. So check us out on our socials. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook. You can also look at our website. It's payitforwardsports.ca. And that's it for today. Tune in Saturday for the latest episode. And Brokey, I just got one question for you. Are you in?
The Boo Club.